G'day everyone, and welcome along to yet another Thursday night live stream on the Family Bricks YouTube channel. This season, I think we're up to about episode number 11. So it almost feels like it's a bit of a Friday today, being Thursday, before a bank long weekend, public holiday, that sort of thing. So everyone's sort of just relaxing and winding down for hopefully a good weekend and maybe a little bit of chocolate and things like that. So hopefully everyone is good to go with those things. And just a shout out to the replay gang. You guys always continue to impress and surprise. I think there's as many people who watch the stream after the fact than what do. So always happy to see that. So just thought I'd do a quick little thanks for that with one of my little happy super chatties type things.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! Oh.
Always love that little gag. Brings a smile to my face. So, we'll be in here in a few moments and have a few people join us. A few people that haven't been able to make it because today's going to border onto Star Wars Celebration, which is in London this weekend. So numerous people are out and about for that, getting all prepped for that. So going to be interesting. We've had some good Star Wars content sort of dropped during the week, and I'm sure over the next couple of days there's going to be a lot more, and hopefully get some more announcements on some of the shows coming to Disney Plus and some more details on those. One thing I'll just do before we bring some people in is just do the sponsor little video. It's always good, just helps pay a few bills and keeps things ticking over here.
This video is brought to you by McCatsim Holiday Homes in Margate and Broadstairs. Great for a week's holiday or a weekend escape, being just over an hour east of London, UK. Treat yourself to amazing sunsets, a Lego wall, or great food. Visit www.mccatsim.com and mention this YouTube video and we'll look after you.
Now we've got that stuff out of the way and start getting in and bringing some people in. We'll start off with someone who was unable to make it last week just because they weren't feeling too well, and it sounds like they're getting over it now, and great to have them back. And welcome along to Lady McBrick. How are you going this evening?
I'm way better. Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's always great to have you in, and I think we're just discussing beforehand what are we going to be looking at building this evening?
Quite a few things. If I'm a fast builder, if I'm a slow builder, only one thing. But I will start with a little unicorn. And then, because it's a really, really small build, if I can't manage that, then I will start live streaming with Sai.
Oh, nice. The moving
Right. I have it for such a long time. Years. 3 months.
It's funny how time can get stretched out and distorted like that. So yeah, I've had it for years and years. Wait a minute, I got it last week.
Right.
Excellent. All right, and then the next person we'll bring along, they've been throughout the week on their Instagram doing some little stories on what they've been doing, and I'm always amazed at the quality of their videos that they put into stories. I was thinking about a video I did the other day, and it was just a matter of getting it straight out, so it wasn't the most brilliant quality, but it worked. But in terms of seeing good quality cinematography, you can always check out Trevor's videos. How are you going, Trevor?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Hi, Matt. Hi, Nicole.
Yeah, going.
Hello.
So what are we sort of looking at building this tonight?
I'm going to finish, and I'll say finish because we've been working on it the last couple of live streams with yourself. Starry Night. I've got about 5 more bags, would you believe? So I'm going to finish off the painting.
Painting, and then the big tree in the front.
Yeah, so hopefully tonight I will complete that. But it's been a fantastic build. I will recommend it to the people out there who haven't got that set.
Yeah, keep on. When I went into Western Square the other day, it's sitting right there in the queue as you go in, and so it's still tempting. I think John Lewis may still have it on sale for about 20% off. So it's kind of like,
I think you're correct. Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's the medieval set as well, the blacksmith set that I've got my eye on because they've got that on sale too.
Yeah, they've got a number of 20% off, and I mean that's having kids, you sort of always, that sort of week leading up to any school holidays, there was always, good sales and things going on. So it's like, oh, the sales are on this week. Oh, that means the kids are off next week. Great.
Yeah.
So
Just a gentle reminder.
Yeah, gentle reminder. So anyhow, speaking of sales and things like that, I got someone new to the channel, but certainly been around YouTube for a long time. They have, I was looking at it, I think the 28th largest bricklink store in the UK. And I think there's almost 1,700 bricklink stores. I think a bit over 400,000 parts, and does a lot of content around Lego investing as well, and also a good Discord server, and helps to find sort of good deals and things which are going around, and was the one who put me on originally to the fact that Germany is great for good places for deals, particularly with road plates and train tracks. So bringing them in, it's Fred from Hillian's Bricks. How you going, Fred?
Hi, good evening, Matt. Hi, Nicole, and hi, Trevor. Nice to meet you all. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's been be great to get on and have a bit of a chat, because usually before I've seen you on your streams or just through the Discord and that. So it's funny how after being chatting for so long, being actually able to do it kind of face to face for a change.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always good to connect with people, right? And that's the one thing that I do love about Lego is the people behind the whole community. Everybody has like the same love and passion for it, and they're all genuinely good people, right? So it's nice.
Yeah, it's great with that, and certainly being able to help each other out, and sort of the community is so diverse and different interests that sometimes it's good just to see what other people are doing, because Trevor likes to do also some brick stop motion, and Nicole, obviously got a bit of a city in the background and does some good mocks and things like that. And a shout out to Carrie Brickapix, who couldn't make it in tonight. She left me a bit of a message earlier. Her voice is almost gone, and she's off to Star Wars Celebration, so I'm sure by the end of it she will have no voice whatsoever. So just going through some of those as well. And what are you sort of looking at building on the stream tonight, Fred?
I've got a monkey kit set. It's the Team Hideout 80044. I've never built monkey kit before, so I thought I'd give that a go. So we'll see how it goes. It's quite a big set, but yeah, see how that goes. Right, it does look good. Lots of minifigures, lots of different techniques, I believe. So I'm always interested when I do new, new themes, to see if there's any different techniques from other sets that I've built before.
Yeah, you're not too worried that this might be the thin edge of the wedge, and all of a sudden you're into Monkey Kid.
No, my problem is space, where to put it. I would love to have a city like Nicole has over there. I remember being a kid, I used to have quite a big room, because I used to live in a different country, and had a big Lego room and a big city. Then my parents sold the house with everything in it, and I lost all my Lego. So I wish I had still had that space. But yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, so I know. I wasn't interested in Lego when they sold it, to be honest. I was going through my late teenage years, and then it was kind of gone. But I always wanted to keep it. But yeah, one day I'll have a Lego city again. But the houses in the UK aren't the biggest, right?
Yeah, no, they're not great for their size and space wise. So when unfortunately you entered your dark age, what sort of themes were you into as a teenager or a child?
I loved all Lego City. I loved building like a city. I also had the space monorail. I loved the Lego trains. I had the Metroliner train, so the 9-volt tracks and the train stations. Those were the sort of things that I really loved. But yeah, I was happy to have any Lego. There wasn't a specific theme that I was given that I wasn't going to say no to, right? So it was all for me about the build. And somehow a pirate's theme would still fit into my Lego city somehow, right?
Right.
Sort of in like a theme park or a sunken ship or something or other, you sort of work it in somehow.
Yeah, I remember being as a kid, I always tried to incorporate somehow with water and Lego, and that never worked. I always felt like I wanted to make like a log flume as a kid, and nah, never succeeded. It was like leaking everywhere, and my mum was always shouting at me, "What's all this water doing here?"
Yeah, I was seeing a video recently, and somebody had done maybe TD Bricks or somebody like that, and they put a water fountain in, and the way that they did that was getting the bricks and putting like plastic in, and then sort of like so it wouldn't leak out the side and everything.
Yeah.
And sort of looked at that and gone, will I do something like that in a little mock or something? But yeah, it could be the water issue.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm I think gonna give it a go and see how this set works out.
Ah, great.
Hey, Fred, when you're on about space, I recommend that's why I started doing these art sets, because you start just going on the walls then.
Yeah, I know. I've got two sons as well. I'm gonna have to put them in bed in about 15 minutes time. But my oldest one, he loves Lego, almost as much as I do, and he's got his own YouTube channel as well where he's building Lego regularly, and he's well advanced for his age. He builds 18 plus sets now, and he's built like the Mustang all by himself about 2 years ago. And he recently built the Rolling Stones one. And he has that on his wall, which was surprisingly better than I thought it would be. So it does look quite good in his room. But he's got my collection of all my modular builders in his room as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're a Lego mad family.
Yeah.
Although
it's the best way to be.
Although the missus is not always on the same page when it starts spilling out into the hallway, and sometimes she sees like a set appear in the living room. She's like, "Where's that come from?" I was like, "Yeah, we're just temporarily doing it there."
Right.
So I tend to build, or Emil, my son, tends to build sets as well, and we temporarily display and then take them apart, and I put them in my bricklink store. So that's how I kind of work it around. So he gets to build lots of variety, and I get to add new parts to my store that possibly wouldn't have added before. So
yeah, that's brilliant.
Lego needs to be admired, so have it out.
So how did you, Fred, sort of start your bricklink store? Was it sort of just to deal with the excess space, or you thought we'll give this a go?
It was interesting. It kind of comes down from the missus moaning at me, I'd say. I had this. I once bought this this bulk tub of Lego, and I don't really know why I did that. And it was in the garage for like 2 years or whatsoever, and it didn't cost me a lot of money. And she's like, "Oh, you got to get rid of this. You got to get rid of it. You're not doing anything with anything." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I could get rid of it." And then I thought maybe I'll put it on eBay. But I was like, "Oh, maybe I should just look at Bricklink," because I was always familiar with Bricklink. I was buying from Bricklink myself before. I was like, "Okay, maybe we'll see if I start adding parts, how much this is worth, And I started doing that, and I realized quickly that these parts are worth a lot more than what I actually paid for in bulk. So it took a lot of time to sort it out, but that's kind of how I started. And I wasn't organized like I was now. I was starting to sell parts from my living room in like a big box with loads of poly bags sorted out, and it quickly got out of hand, I must say, because it was quite addictive to buying Lego.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I had 100,000 bricks in my living room. and the moaning level started to increase. So I'm now sat in my partially converted garage, which has become like my Lego room. And I got 400,000 bricks in here now. So I'm pretty much at capacity. But in my hallway, there's boxes again with Lego, and only yesterday my missus tripped over one, so I was in lots of trouble. But now it's I've also got a storage unit full of Lego sets. More that's from like an investing side. I don't tend to sell many sets on Bricklink. It's mostly my parts I focus on. But the sets, I'll go through other avenues for that.
Yeah. So, how long ago would you say that you sort of started selling your parts from the living room?
It was kind of like the beginning of COVID, I'd say. So it was kind of like the peak period. Everything started going through the roof as well, where there's lots of demand. And the good thing is, you could still order it online. So I was getting lots of, deliveries. I know all the delivery drivers from DPD to Royal Mail, the the every guy. They all know me, so and they're all super friendly, and mostly all my packages come in decent condition as well, which is always handy. So I even got the guy from Every. I got his phone number, and he offers like to pick up free parcels for me if I need to, which is always a nice bonus. Saves me going into town to drop it off at the local store.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Even though they don't
Yeah.
have the best reputation from a delivery perspective, my guy, I can't complain. But then I can't guarantee how it gets to the other people, right?
When it gets to the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a bit the same. We order a lot of stuff just, because we're quite busy and don't have time to go to some of the stores and things like that. So getting a number of deliveries, and after a while, you do get to know the delivery drivers and different people. And I'll never forget one time one came and the guy was very sheepish about it, and he's like, "Look, I'm so sorry," and he just shook it. And it's like, whatever's in here is obviously broken. And it's like, no, it's Lego. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The relief must have been quite good on his face.
Yeah. I think he's possibly quite new, so he's probably anticipating that somebody's going to complain that he's delivered, like, he'd done a delivery and all smashed up or something. So
I'll say my favorite one is the guy from DPD. He's always super friendly, always has time for a chat, or he makes time for a chat. And I even made him what's it called? I got him personalized minifigure, and I gave it to him as a gift. I was like, "Yeah, thank you." And I also gave him the other guy from Every. I gave him, because he's got some kids, I gave him one of the Star Wars gift for purchase and a key ring. So I was like, "Yeah, sometimes you got to give back,
that's
right?"
Lovely.
Right.
That's lovely appreciation, that is. Yeah.
Because I tell you, the Every guy was not happy when the Royal Mail guys were on strike, because his workload just jumped through the roof. And he was like, "For all I care, they can go jump off a cliff." That's what he said. So,
yeah, I remember much the same thing, particularly last Christmas, because it was over Christmas as well. And all the other companies, didn't matter which one it was, they're all like run off their feet, because they're like, because Royal Mail's not delivering, everyone's using like all the other couriers basically, so their work was spiking. And I believe they might be doing another strike over Easter or just after Easter, like Royal Mail again. So
the way I look at it, it's positive, because they keep offering free pickups, which is great. So my Royal Mail guy comes and picks up all my parcels pretty much almost every day or every other day, and you only need to book one, and they collect all the the standard large letters and things like that as well, which from a bricklink perspective is great.
Yeah, I was going to say, so like that's the one thing I've with the kids got a little bricklink store, which is still hasn't quite cracked 100,000 parts, but it's just the time to physically make it to the post office sometimes. I try to usually do it on the back of the school run, but maybe I have to investigate.
I must admit, from all the 2 years that I've done, I've never gone to the post office to drop off any parcels. It's never gone through the post office. I always use the post box or get it collected. If it's a more valuable or something tracked, I get it collected. If it's just an otherwise large letter, they just put it in my post box. Is literally 200 yards away. I walk to it and I just drop it off. But yeah, I've never gone to a post office because the hours are not the best, and it's in town as well. So when you have to pay parking and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there would be a sticker sheet with this set. There must be one, because it hasn't dropped out anywhere, has it?
KDS, see the Black Panther, please tell me you didn't pay full price. No, I got that when it was on sale, with one of those ones. So I looked at it. I'm doing some mocks with a lot of black pieces. So certainly, looked at the part out value on that. And if you're only paying 200 and there's like 600 in parts, so it's kind of like...
It's on sale currently as well at Lego again, but it's only 20% off. It was more before, I think. And in America, it's 40% off the Black Panther currently. So it's interesting that they don't have it consistently across the markets.
Well, I think even at in Australia at one of the major theme parks, they had it. Was it like 50% off or something? It was that and one of the other ones. So yeah, just at some stage, if the Hulkbuster ever goes on sale for something like that, you're sort of like, that could be an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's just never been that well received, has it? As I say, it's never really flown off the shelves.
No, it's the same with the foosball table, right?
You know all about that, Matt.
It's funny you should mention that, Fred.
Is that a sensitive topic?
No, well, it's
I missed
I
out.
think a couple of months ago, it was on sale again, and it was like between double VIPs and gift with purchase and everything like that, it was working out to like $113. £113.
Yeah.
So I was streaming at that time, and it was late, and the sale was about to end on that Thursday night. So a few people in the chat ended up getting it, and then we had a live stream of it with like all of us building the foosball table over a couple of weeks. So,
all right. Yeah, I got one somewhere. My son wants to build it something, but he's got such a backlog of sets to build. He's currently building the A-frame cabin.
Oh, nice!
Amazing.
Yeah, it does look good.
Have you built that one,
that
Nicole?
one to build.
The A-frame or the football table?
The A-frame.
Not the A-frame. I have no place to put it, so it would look awkward scale-wise in my city. But it looked gorgeous. It looks nice.
Yeah, I've got that kit, but I just haven't got around to building it yet. I want to do a video with it.
Yeah, I can imagine that it will be amazing in your videos.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better, what's it called, Lego ID set that they've come up with recently.
Yeah. Although I really have to speak up for the football table. I believe for what it is, the football table is really not such a bad set. The price we can argue about if one really wants to pay 250 euros for it, but the set in itself, I like that it is an idea set and that someone came up with something that is not based on a license, not something like.
I remember when it came out, I went to the Brighton Lego store, and the store manager offered to have a game with my boys, which was quite nice. I always love the store manager knows me in Brighton quite well, I must say, because I'm in there every week.
Yeah.
But literally, I'm in there every week. Not to saying that. And yeah, he always comes over for a chat. And when he had the set, he's like, "Oh, they had it in the display area." He's like, "Oh, do you guys want to have a game?" He literally got it out and started playing with them, which I thought was a nice touch.
How did it work out?
It's literally you just turned a little, yeah, it's like
right.
like it is,
but
right?
it's sturdy enough, right? Because I'm the only one playing with mine, so I'm kind of gentle with it.
Well,
my 8-year-old managed to tell you he's not the gentlest of people. When it
no, much the same. My two kids are out there hammering it. I mean, it's a bit of a gag. We took all the normal players out and put in custom Mario figures on one team and then custom Sonic figures on the other. So they're having Sonic and Mario foosball.
Oh.
Well, there should be lots of new Sonic sets coming out from what I saw the other day.
Yeah, you're right. I told my son that this morning because we bought that Sonic set that came out, and I said, "You do know that there's going to be some new Sonic Hedgehog sets?" And he was like, "Wow!" I thought, "Yeah, my wallet's going to be empty."
It was always a giveaway though when the first one came out because they had the pinholes right to connect it, as if it's like it needed to be a bigger course. It almost felt like there's going to be more coming. When my son built that, I was like, they can't. Why would they have these things there? There must be something else in the pipeline.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Well, I think the rumor is there's going to be a Tails minifigure, and was it a Robotnik or a Knuckles?
Yeah, a Robotnik, I think it was.
Tails looks lovely. The picture I've seen, it looks really cool. That does.
Because a couple of summers ago, I did a custom Sonic the Hedgehog mock. I'm just trying to see if it's just still up there, which is absolutely huge. And that was before he knew anything about any of these ones coming out, and that was kind of like one of our summer projects, which is where we go. I might be able to swing it around. I don't know how well that's coming out. Can't see. There.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
Wow, massive.
So
That takes me right back to the game. That does.
You know, you're gonna have to modify that now. The new sets come out and they have some expansion, right?
Yeah, it's going to go all the way along the top shelf now.
Yeah, well, I mean that's sort of broken up because it's. I think end to end, it's about 3 meters long. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so when they brought out the new set and the parts were a little bit cheaper. Let's put it that way.
I have noticed though, I did break apart the original Sonic one that my son built, and those parts were quite popular. Because for the used sets, I kind of keep track of what sells and what doesn't sell, and that's one of the one that the parts tend to move quite quick for that one.
Yeah, well, I found doing that mock, getting green parts, funnily enough, like just normal green, it's quite difficult. There's not many, and they can be quite expensive, like relatively. But what was the other thing we had with that? So. Speaking of which, we went with the kids yesterday and saw the new Mario Brothers movie. Has you guys seen it or interested in that?
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
I'd like to take my boys to watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd like to go. So that's no spoilers, please.
Oh yeah, no spoilers, but no, it's let's just put it this way: it's much better than the 1993 version, which. Always also managed to see in the cinema. So, not that there'll be any spoilers, but I went and saw that, and then later that day watched the latest Andor, which we won't talk about the actual content itself. And the voice of Bowser is Jack Black, and the character in Andor was also Jack Black. So you're sort of hearing both.
You mean the Mandalorian, right? Not Andor.
So, sorry, yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah. I watched it. So.
Yeah. I was like, Andor's done, isn't it? Series is over.
Yeah, no, I'm not catching up, but yeah, it's yeah, you're very right. It's the wrong one. So. Because you've when Fred, you say that you're in the Brighton store a lot. That's you have a thing with your patrons where you whatever's on the brick wall, you'll get like them that, and then so long as they pay the postage. Is that right?
Yeah, I just basically pick it up for them, and I've got quite a few international people who are interested in that. So got some people from Switzerland and people from some guy from Las Vegas who often orders and for their bricklaying stores in the US. So I just literally send them at cost, but clearly if there's any gift for purchase, I have the benefit of that, and also the VIP points.
Yeah.
So do you think with the one in the States, are they kind of just slow to get the parts and he's trying to get ahead of the curve, or they just get totally different ones? Or
they get totally different ones often, because they obviously they come from the plant in Mexico. Whereas most of us in Europe, we all get the same pick a brick parts eventually, right? Because it's all coming from the same source here in Europe. It's just a different timing that tends to affect it. But yeah, the ones in the US tends to be quite different variety. Although some of the general stuff they still have, because I was in Florida in February, and they did have similar stuff, but not all of it.
yeah, And what do you sort of find when you get the new pieces on the wall? Is it sort of there's a bit of a spike and then the price drops out, or like in terms of the store, or how do you figure that sort of, you know, once it's on the wall it impacts upon?
It depends on what kind of part it is, right? I don't tend to buy. I've started buying less and less from the pick a brick wall for my store personally, because so many people are doing it. I'm becoming more and more picky of the parts I get. You know, if it's tiles, small stuff, I will get it. If it's you know, parts that are just for the sake of having it, I am not going to just load my inventory with lots of parts just for stuff that's going to be sitting in there. It's, you know, tiles are always a winner, or 1x2 bricks in decent colors. But yeah, you usually will find that, you know, a new part comes on, the quantity available for everybody else just suddenly jumps, and then some people will just put a race to zero in terms of pricing. I don't engage with that. Just if people want the part, they'll buy it. It's more about having the variety of parts in your store rather than just at price. That's the one thing I learned as you get bigger in Bricklink. You know, people just want the parts, rather they're not too focused about the price, and as long as you don't take the piss, right?
Yeah. Nice. And do you find, just kind of interesting, because obviously you said that you're up to about 100,000 in your lounge room, and then obviously you've now gone up to 400,000. Do you think, was there a point that you found with your number of parts where you sort of, it kind of started to accelerate on itself in terms of orders? Because once you had that many, you've got a wider variety, you're more likely to catch people who want it, or is there any sort of magical sort of...
No, it's still hit and miss. So I still have days sometimes where I don't get an order, which surprises me. And then some days you have like 6 or 7. I think paydays affect that a lot. Time of the year affects a lot of things as well. Weather, and clearly what people are looking for. If you have unique things, like the one thing that I have learned is that, you know, everybody else seems to be so obsessed with the 3-to-1 ratio of buying sets at the price where you get 3-to-1. I moved away from that because you can't do what everybody else is doing. I tend to look at, you know, what parts actually people need, right? What's in demand. So I love my data analysis, and I've offered some things for my premium Patreon members where I literally offer a lot of data, which sets are the best to part out based on how quickly you can get the money back. It kind of takes into consideration the supply and demand of every single part that's out there, and it kind of links that back to a set. So it gives you a thought of how quickly can you get your money back, essentially based on the current averages in the market. So it's a completely different way of looking at it. But yeah. And I have people who are obviously part of my premium members, and they're happy with it. So the thing that suggests that they're selling and seeing the thing is just, I don't think there's a magical number in terms of how many parts you should have in a store. It's all about the variety and having the right parts, right? Because what's the point in having 100,000 parts if they're all, you know, what's it called, coral quarter tiles? You're not going to sell them, right? It's about, you know, if you have 100,000 1x2 light bluish gray bricks, I'm telling you, they'll sell. You know, it's finding that balance of the right parts.
Yeah. Simon Trevor is building Starry Night, working on that, so stick around. I might get that done later on. And
I'm just going to go away for a minute because I need to put my kids to bed, I think, because they're probably happy that it's already past 9 o'clock. But I'll be back shortly.
No worries, cool. All right, see you when you're back. Take him out for a second, then rejoin when he comes back in. So, Nicole, how are you getting on with your... Oh, sorry.
I say, what a lovely gentleman he is.
Yeah, no, he's obviously got his own YouTube as well, and I've been following him, and I'm one of his patrons and things like that too. And he's with tech, he used to be really good on like finding good deals and things like that, and used to do like tech reductions. And I found that Fred is kind of like that on steroids. Like on his Discord and stuff, you find a lot of stuff really quick and really easily. So, and he's into data analysis. So he was doing a series of videos on his YouTube channel, sort of ranking different sets and things, and from sort of investability point of view and things like that. So if you're into that sort of stuff, it's definitely worthwhile looking at.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And I expect it's helpful towards yourself, Matt, because you do a lot of mocks, don't you?
Yeah, I try to. It's just as with everything else, when and you can appreciate it, Trevor, when you got a couple of kids and between work and everything
say
else,
no more.
it's sort of like
you just chuck your Lego bricks in the air and start trying to juggle.
Yeah, and then knowing that you'll be walking on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
What do we got? And what's KO's asking? What's Lady McBrick building? Mini Greg unicorn. That's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. I would ask him whether he recognized himself.
So yeah, we had the new lot of releases on the 1st. Did we go along and pick anything up?
Yeah, my order arrived earlier today.
That's incredible. What did you buy?
Funny you should say that. Hang on. Have a guess, Nicole. What do you think? I went for first. What do you think?
My money is on Indiana Jones.
I was hoping you'd get it wrong. No, you got it right. You got it right. There you go.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I do like all the diorama sets because I enjoy doing the Star Wars ones as well. And then I went for, because my son loves to build Lego, so he really liked the upset, and I do like this one as well.
Yeah.
That's a cool set. In fact, this is hard to find because it just flew off the shelves. I know a lot of people have had issues with stock, etc. He went to some Lego stores that didn't have any at all, or very, very minimal stock.
That's
so
incredible.
I think Lego shot themselves off in the foot. They could have sold loads more.
Yeah, because I just saw it today on Amazon, already discounted. And I thought, that's incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, the up one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think I saw it. It was like 5 or 10 euros off, wasn't it?
Right, not crazily discounted yet, but for the fact that it's just 5 days out, and it's quite a popular set.
Yeah, no, it's because I saw that, and sort of. Don't ask me why I'm paying attention to Amazon Germany. Like, but I think that's with a lot of the releases these days. Like it used to be the sort of thing, sort of pre-COVID, like it would take months before they'd be discounted, and now it's either within a week or two, or sometimes if there's a good pre-order, like the second wave of a couple of the Avatar sets, if you pre-ordered them, I think it was about 6 weeks out, they're like 30% off.
Yeah.
So we grabbed a couple of those, and the kids have been asking, well, when are we going to get the rest? And it's like, well, when they go on discount.
Right. I did a bit of a crazy thing for me in my box. I pre-ordered the Disney CMF series in a box. And
you have?
Really
wow.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered it. It will be delivered sometime in May 1st or sometime after. And I pre-ordered the Disney train and the small one, the $30 just for the minifigs.
Yeah.
And the box I pay 120 euros for. I think that's quite nice. I had to pre-order it, but I think I hope that it works out. It's the first time that I do it, so fingers crossed that I don't tell you in the middle of May, okay, that was a bust. I paid, but never saw the box.
Well, hopefully you get to see the box.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I hope you get the full set.
Yeah, me too. But I saw a review of the box, and according to this review, it is supposed to have 2 full sets in it. Yeah.
2 full sets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Sell the other set on?
Probably not.
Didn't we cover off last time that you never sell anything on?
Right.
So, yeah, I saw I think definitely the Indiana Jones one was out of stock at Blue Water. When it was in Leicester Square, they did have them. But yeah, it was quite a lot which wasn't there. When are they actually releasing those Disney ones? The CMF, sorry.
I think May 1st.
May 1st.
Yeah, I think May myself.
Yeah. Because we walked into Sorry, you going to say, Trevor?
Sorry, Matt. No, you carry on. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh, no. It's, wasn't going to say anything interesting.
I was just going to say that we will look forward. Me and my kids look forward for the hunt and filling out all the bags before they actually change the CMF series to actually cardboard boxes.
Right.
Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to that. Because part of the fun for me and my children and everybody else, whether they think the same, is going to different shops and feeling your way through the bags, analysing what elements are with what CMF and think, I've got that one, and just having fun. And I think that's the idea of the CMFs in the bags originally was it's like a treasure hunt, let's see what we can find and then swap around with other people that have got the same so you can get the set, That's my take on it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And the kids really enjoy it.
To do what they do, because, if people want the full set, how are they going to do that? Like, are they going to just sort of partially open boxes and sort of say, look, here, if you want to be guaranteed to get one, we know these are them, but it's partially opened? I mean,
yeah.
Don't know how they're...
I'm a fan of the boxes. That was a brilliant video you put together, by the way, Matt. You're doing a comparison between the old pab cups and the cardboard boxes. That I'm all for. And I know we're talking about it saving plastic again and the foil wrapping that the CMF series come in, but I don't know. I just think it will take away from the fun element. I don't know anybody that doesn't fill the bags trying to find what they're looking for. You know what I mean? You can't physically do that with a box.
Right. I wish if they want to change to the boxes that they gave us a box with a window so that you can see what's inside. It takes away the fun of feeling it, but at least it takes away the gut feeling of you want to make money off me because now I have no chance to feel anymore. I have to blindly buy.
But I suppose the whole idea of not being able to actually see what's inside is what it's all about. It's the element of surprise. You just don't know until you open that bag.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know what Lego are trying to achieve with this. I don't know. Whereas the pad boxes, the new cardboard boxes, I'm all for that. And especially as Matt said in his video, which is anybody who hasn't checked that out, I seriously suggest that you do. It's an excellent comparison. You can get more in there.
Right. I have to finish, Matt, your video, because I have to admit that I had a bit of a difficult situation when I saw you tip everything over on the table, and I saw all the 4x4 plates put together, and I thought to myself, that's like glued. Matt will never get them apart again.
These things.
Yeah, right.
The trick to it is you get the corner with a brick
Yeah.
separator, and you just got to split it a little bit. Yeah, I know. That's the sort of thing. The number of people who came up with comments were like, oh, that's going to be a nightmare to deal with that. Where is it? But it's the sort of thing where, there we go. We've got that split. It comes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is, but it's the sort of thing where in the UK, at least, if you want to get 4x4s, like I'm doing some Mills plates, and one of them is going to be like a landscape, and I'm going to have sort of like little mountainous bits. So I need to be able to go up and down. So it's not like you can just use 8x8s or whatever.
Right.
Getting any more than 20 of these off Bricklink, you've got to go to multiple sellers. They're just, the green ones, generally they don't have much. And then the grey ones, well, anyone who's doing a Star Wars mock,
right,
get sucked up into them. So,
right.
It's just, a bit easier. I mean, doing it with the other style where you go through and you make patterns out of them to get them into the circular, that's a lot of work, and that's painful, but it is what it is, sort of thing.
Right.
And it was funny because even I think it's only Blue Water and the store in Berlin that's doing it, because I've now had a couple of people who are like, oh, can I buy the boxes off you? And it's like, what?
It's very rare, Matt. You've got the only boxes in the country.
Right.
It's just like, it's just funny because it's sort of like somebody got in contact, and it's like, I wish you would have asked me a couple of hours earlier, because I was just at Blue Water seeing a movie, and I've been there twice in the last 2 days. I'm not going back there in a hurry.
Right.
A few people have joined Minifig Who, and Simon. Do the Minifig boxes still have bits in the plastic bags, so they're as bad as bags? I think they're who knows? I mean, I think this was something the Brickbods were talking about on their podcast recently in terms of switching over to the paper. Like that's been touted for a long time. It's taken a long time to come. And then somebody had sent me a Bricklink order in paper bags, and that was just horrible to deal with. Because normally, like, you can at least, if you got the plastic ones, you can see in, you can start, if you got an order of 30 or 40 different parts, and only 4 or 5 in each, but they're all mixed up, and they're not. It's sort of like you're starting to having to open and rip bags, and it's that was not a fun experience.
Right.
And Brickapix is like, oh, small boxes. Like, you did the video with big boxes, now we want to see small ones. Actually, that's not a bad idea, because the light bluish gray, these ones, it wasn't actually on the wall, but it was out the back, and they had like a box of them. And because I'd packed these ones so well, I'd cleared out about 2/3 of the box. So there's no point getting another big one, but a small one, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Stud, they want the CMS to be blind. It's marketing tactic, surprise and delight, similar to Pokemon cards and sports cards. Kids actually enjoy the surprise. Yeah, I
kind of get that, but
I get it, but I just see it as gambling for kids. Like, you're chasing something particular, which certainly when I was younger, I collected some of the cards and things like that, and that was the one aspect I just hated, because you usually, to like get a complete set or whatever, you'd have to buy effectively the set 2 or 3 times over, and then you're got like all these extras which you can't really trade or do anything with.
Right. And it's frustrating. At the beginning, it's at least you have a chance to get the first, 10. But then if you only are missing 1 or 2, if you only go back and buy blind bags or blind boxes and have no chance to tell what kind of figure you bought, what are the odds that you exactly fish out the box that you need?
Yeah, because I agree, because once we'd found, like you say, 6 or 7 of the minifigures, you knew how the elements felt in the bags, because I put certain elements back in the bag, so I knew how they felt. So when you went out to search for the remaining of the set, you think, nah, I've already got that one. That feels like it was before. Not very scientific, but it was a way of doing it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think the boxes will ruin the experience, but I think it might put me off it that way.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
I might retire from searching for minifigs.
Either that, or you're in there and you're squishing the boxes up, and it's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, no, I don't think it's that one.
And then
Here,
Sainsbury's security will throw me out there, won't they? Sorry, I'm running.
Or you get to the end of it and you've crumpled it all up and you sort of put it back on the shelf, and it's like, how much for damaged product now?
Yeah. Can I have this? I did that once. You saw a damaged Lego box in Smith's, and they actually did knock some off. I said, any chance you could not? Because I really collect the boxes. I thought I don't, but But you're quite right. I doubt if they're going to knock any money off though, or the squash boxes it's going to end up.
Yeah. Fred, we're just talking about CMFs going obviously from the bags where you can feel them across to the boxes and that sort of whole experience. And good thing, bad thing. Trevor's about to retire from filling up plastic bags, so. And Ian from Brickbods, the point of CMF was meant to be random, and you should swap them with friends. Has anyone here swapped CMFs with anyone?
Not really.
Not really.
Okay. I think everybody goes.
Sorry. Yeah, we're not kids anymore.
Okay. Kids like the surprise factor. Lego is one of that way they're changing it, but it's not popular opinion. It's always that's, and because we never get breakdowns, it's like, how much do kids buy relative to adults? Because certainly, some adults go in and it's like, I'm buying a box or I'm buying whatever, and it's sort of like, what percentage of sales is that? Maybe because we're just in the AFOL sort of space, we think of it more, whereas we're just a minority, and maybe that just doesn't happen.
We just got to look how all the Lego stores are now serving it as well, right? All of them offer, almost pre-selected which minifig do you want. So, when my kids go and they pick a minifig, they kind of know which one they want, and they're like, oh, I like the look of that one, and then literally the store already is like, well, this is the one. Without having, they kind of feel it for you, and they often have it right. So I think maybe they made a decision based on the fact that people do that anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how the Lego stores are going to go about that now, because obviously they won't be able to feel it anymore with the boxes. So
Yeah.
they shoot themselves in the foot.
I wonder if there's a way that you can identify them. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd
be interesting to see. Because I remember my kids when they were younger, they liked these little trains from what's it called, Thomas the Tank Engine, and they had these collectible series as well. But you could actually identify by a number on the barcode or one of the numbers at the back that you could see which one it was. So it's easier to collect that way without actually having to open it. So maybe they're going to offer a similar sort of solution.
Yeah, although being Lego, they'll probably have the box and then do like printed stickers or something like this. Stick it on.
No. At the end of the day, they just want to make more money, probably.
The other thing is we're sort of just having a bit of a chat. Obviously, we had the new sort of release day and everything like that, and what sort of things people are picking up. Did you pick up anything outside of your pad cups?
I didn't pick up anything when I went to I went on the 2nd of April. I saw the new Indiana Jones stuff. The Up House was already gone, but no, I rarely buy much from the Lego store itself because unless there's there you go. They got it in Smiths as well, don't they? The Up House. I rarely buy it at full price unless there's like a really good VIP, like double VIP, or if it's a good gift for purchase. That's when I tend to buy from Lego, and even then, I tend to buy stuff from Lego that's exclusive or hard to find elsewhere. If it's something that's widely available, I don't tend to buy it from Lego. That's generally how I go about it. Because I know, I like a deal. I've spent so much money on Lego. I want to make sure that I can buy more of it if I buy it at the right price.
Yeah, no, I'm much the same. It's sort of like unless there's got to be a good reason for buying something at full retail. So, because as you've pointed out, apart from a few of the exclusive sets, which are usually in like one other shop, whether it's Argos or Smiths or something, most of them will go on some good deal at some stage.
Yeah, I'm not worried about being the first one to have a set. I can happily wait.
Yeah, I must be impatient then.
I've got such a backlog of sets anyway that it's like, don't have to worry about it.
Well, I think Trevor's just sort of coming back into the space after a little bit. So he's still at the point where he has space in his house.
Oh,
yeah, just about. Yeah. Coping.
So.
I think with Lego, even if you reached, sorry,
I was just going to say bye to Kerry. Hope that you get better and enjoy Star Wars weekend.
Yeah, get well soon, Kerry.
Be good.
Sorry, Trevor, you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that. Yeah, there will become a time where I'm thinking I've got nowhere to display this, or I've got no more room for any cabinets, and I can't put this on display, but. I love Lego, and I love how it makes me feel when I'm building, from my normal day-to-day job, and anything that's on my mind, I just build, and it's great for a lot of people's mental health. And I just don't think there would come a time where I'd say to myself, I've got no room, I'm not going to build. I'll just carry on building. I'll probably move back to the shed or something. Or bang on the next door neighbours, can you display this for me? I just don't think I would stop. I love Lego, simple as. And I'm passionate about what I do. I love the video side of it because I love video photography, and that's why I combine the two, and that's why I set up the YouTube channel. I just love it. So it's a good hobby and a good pastime to have. And like you said, Fred, the Lego community to myself has welcomed me with open arms, and there's a lot of genuine, lovely, caring people out there.
Yeah, I do find it interesting when I talk to people at work, and eventually I mention Lego. They're like, "Oh, you love Lego too." It feels like it's almost like a secret society that nobody wants to talk about. And as soon as you talk about it, like, "Oh my God, you're another one that loves it." It's like, yeah, it's like, "Oh, I'm not the only one." Oh, we can talk about it now. It's okay. It feels like it's almost like something that you don't want to be revealing too much. As an adult, I'm like, well, I'm okay with it, but it feels like also people change the conversation quickly as soon as you talk about Lego. They're like, "Oh yeah, I love it too."
Yeah, I get that at work, although I tend to bore my colleagues. I say, "Oh, you're not going on about Lego again, are you?" Because they haven't got the interest in it themselves. But I will not shut up about it. Just carry on.
Yeah, I've got people coming to ask me for advice now about Lego, which is quite interesting as well. I coach the under-11 football team for my kids, and one of the dads is like, "Oh, I got a question to you." It's like, "Oh, it's not about football. It's about Lego." I was like, "Oh, okay."
And then Ian is saying the GWPs later this month are quite worthwhile. You got the botanical one, and then also the second house in the series. I'm just curious to each of you on the panel, what do you think of those? What do they call them? Houses of the world. I'll start with Nicole. What are your sort of thoughts on them?
They are cute, but strangely, I'm not affected by it. There were so many gifts with purchase, probably of the scale. I like this scale. I really had a hard time resisting the truck. But the then houses, I think, maybe because they look as if I were able to piece them together on my own, if I had the instructions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Trevor, what are your sort of thoughts on those Houses of the World series?
A bit like Nicole, I like them, but I wouldn't say that it's something that I need in my collection or I want to go out and get. You know, that's just personal preference, I know, but yeah, they're nice, but not really for myself. No, I'm not too bothered.
Okay, and Fred?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same sentiment. I got one of the first ones, but that's only because, you know, I think of it probably different than you guys, maybe from in the future of reselling those. But I find that the price point is very high for what it is. You know, the threshold, we have to spend £220 for one of these.
I don't think it's worth that.
No, it's not worth. It's, the only time where I see it's worth it if you potentially have all four of them eventually, and you can sell it as a series. But then it comes down to the collectability, and like you guys said, are people really going to want it? Maybe, but then people are going to pay a premium for it. Maybe not. And like Nicole mentioned as well, you can probably bricklink it quite cheaply as well. So it'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm much the same. I think if it had like an exclusive minifigure or something like that, I think it'd be a completely different ball game. But I think just as what they are, high thresholds. They're not, anything super interesting. I sometimes think about it a little bit in terms of the investability or things like that, or at least in terms of, okay, if I got to hit that threshold, can I resell this for 40, 50 pounds? Is that going to bring it down? How does that work relative to like an AFOL discount percentage or a Smith's or whatever?
Right.
But
I'm like you, Matt. I just think for such a high threshold, they're not worth that. They're just not worth that at all.
No, and it seems like the UK, Fred probably being the analyst here might know better. In the last year or so, the threshold for some of the upper ones has gone up a lot, and it's not keeping pace. Like, it's relative to some of the American ones, they've stayed a little bit the same, but then ours, once you take account of the exchange rate, is a lot higher.
Right.
So, at least, it just feels that way. So.
Right. Yeah. The good thing of these gift with purchases, the small houses, is if someone would be inspired by it, if they build it and realize that if you don't have the space for a big city, maybe a micro scale one would be an alternative. Yeah. And then they expand on it.
Yeah.
Their own.
Yeah, there's the plastic architect Claire is part of the community. She's doing at the moment is she's taking a lot of the big modulars and breaking them down from a 32 by 32 base plate to like a 16 by 16, because obviously for space, and trying to say, well, what is the essence of, say, like a Daily Bugle, and then shrink it down and still keep it like that. So I think if you're trying to do a city, that's probably a smarter, well, not so much a smarter way, but that's probably going to be something more you could like achieve. Whereas, these houses of the world, it's sort of like, well, you've so far got two houses, and it's got like, I don't know, it's just
right.
And then if you go the other way, you can go to like a micro scale, like the Macropolis sort of scale of things. There is the Mythica ride only at one Legoland in the UK. The UK only has one Legoland, so yes. We're not like America, where they're growing out of every city.
There's only 3 in America, right? California, Florida, New York.
New York, yeah. New York is relatively new. I'm just trying to think. Florida, is that a new one?
No, they've had it since 2011.
2011.
It used to be Cypress Garden, so I know because I went to it in February, and what a ripoff! $500 for the four of us to get in.
Wow.
I look at Trevor's face, just looked up. He's like, "What?" It's like, yeah, no wonder that Legoland in Windsor is quite busy compared to the other one. Like, it was pretty dead in Florida. Well, with those prices, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, I think they're probably doing it like Disneyland in the last couple of years. Their prices have really shot up because they're just finding demand is so much. It's like, well, we've only got so many spaces every day. And that's even with curtailing, like they used to have, if you're a local pass was relatively cheap or things like that. But they've now made that really expensive, and they've limited the days you can actually use it and all sorts of weird things. So, but we went to years ago, Legoland Dubai, and that is just dead.
Yeah, I literally got some Facebook friends, and I've seen they're just in Dubai this week, and they actually went to it, and I saw pictures of it, and they were like, no queues whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the sort of thing where I think when they first started it, because they opened it, I think it was 2017, and we went there 2018 and 19 a couple of times because we're doing work out there, and yeah, we were so surprised because you go in there, and I think initially they would have like, queue jumping passes and all this sort of stuff. And of course, you're not using it because you literally get up to anything and there's like 4 or 5 people in the queue. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is or anything like that. And we're just sort of looking at it, it's like, well, is this meant to be busy? Like, the thing is that in the off in summer, like it's 40 to 50 degrees constantly, so you generally don't go there. But even when it's a bit off, like it's still 30, high 30s, and a lot of it is, you could see it's so hot you wouldn't want to stand in a line for a long time in any event.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the floor that we went to was fairly quiet, maybe because it was on the Super Bowl Sunday, but people say, no, it's probably because of the price.
Because you obviously went for a trip there recently. What sort of places did you go to?
We went to Universal and just to Legoland and did the Gator rides. The one thing we did that was really good was Kennedy Space Center.
Yes.
That was really good. But we didn't do Disney. But yeah, Universal for the 4 of us we had a pass for like the 2 weeks, but it's like over £1,000. It's like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we went many years ago, and yeah, it was one of those stay 1 week, get the second week free.
Yeah.
So it was still expensive, but it wasn't like ridiculous what it is now. And much the same, we went to the Kennedy Space Center and thought that was the best of the whole trip. Like the boys were just fully into it. And
yeah, it's good. My son had a few months ago built what's it called, the Saturn V Lego set. And actually, I think that's one of the best sets he's built. It looks phenomenal, and the way he built it as well, I thought it was really good watching him build. But they have one there. The actual Saturn V is there in a big hangar. You go see it. It's like you walk under it. It's impressive. So he could actually look back at all. He was thinking about it Lego-wise. Oh yeah, I built this in Lego. And then he had like the moon landers. Oh yeah, this is a Lego set as well. I was like, Dad, I want that Lego set. I'm like, I've got it, but you're not getting it. It's like so he's referring it back to Lego every single time.
Every single one. Yeah, it's when we were there too. We also did a you could have like sort of like a lunch with an astronaut, but it was like it was sort of like a talk when there's like 500 people in the auditorium as well. And I mean, it's one of the guys which had been obviously done it years ago and sort of like doing talks as a bit of a thing to fill in retirement, and that was probably one of the best sort of public speaking personalities I've ever seen, just in terms of how, the things that they did and how interesting they were. And
they're doing it because that was their life and their passion. Sort of like, I'm not here doing it because I'm getting a speaker's fee, sort of thing. So.
Yeah.
But let's face it, hasn't got much competition either, right? To talk about it. Not exactly many people can go talk about it.
Yeah. Well, at least at this point in time.
Yeah.
But so
I did go to the Lego store in Disney Springs. That was quite good, I thought. And then I went to another one in Tampa, which I thought was diabolical. So my family and my wife's gotten used to it. Like now, wherever we go, I tend to look out for a Lego store to see if there's one nearby. I had recently 2 business trips, and I still got to upload the videos for work. I had one to Frankfurt and I had one to Barcelona, and I quickly sneaked in on my way to the airport, both ones, a quick detour via the Lego stores just to check it out. So the first thing is, like, if I've got business trips, like first thing I check, like, is there a Lego store nearby?
Is there one close to it?
Yep.
Yeah. Because Nicole, do you have one close to you?
Not anymore. I used to live right up the street of a Lego store in Cologne. That was really, really nice. Yeah. But unfortunately, not anymore.
No. Maybe they'll open one soon.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
So do you sort of order a lot of your stuff online?
Yes. Yeah.
Amazon Deutschland.
Right. Amazon Germany and Lego as well. And I have to tell you, I don't know who in maybe in different parts of Germany it's different, but in the part that I live now and in Cologne as well, it's 48 hours and Lego delivers. I don't know who pays extra fees for speed delivery, because how much faster can Lego be than 48 hours?
I guess for Germany, does it also come from the Belgian depot? For the UK, all the Lego you order pretty much comes from Belgium. The sets, the gift for purchase might not be. Obviously, the pad wall stuff is either from Poland or the UK, I believe. But the sets, like gift for purchase and everything, always tends to come from the Belgium place.
I never checked it out. I have to take.
I know, because it shows on the shipping labels we get with DPD where it gets sent from, and it's usually like a place in Belgium where it comes from.
Okay.
So I guess for you guys, it's not far, just across the border. Then that's probably why it's only 48 hours.
Right.
I mean, for us here, it seems to be like 48 hours to think about all the different emails you can get about them thinking about your order.
Right.
Yes, we've got your order. We might be processing it soon. We might be sending you something, an update soon. I think it's in the warehouse now. We're still thinking about it. Like, it's just like, send it already. Do you get those?
I placed my order.
Yep.
I placed my order. I think it was for the 1st of April. I was one of those Fred that couldn't wait, so I stayed up till about 5 minutes past midnight, placed my order, and it arrived today. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always up late. Always. That's when you get the deals, especially for Argos on a Tuesday night. If you hang around, I need to go pick up my Argos deal still for this week. That's the one thing I've learned quite quickly from when I did my Lego deals and all the things, like knowing when the retailers drop their prices or when to check. Because with Argos, they tend to do it at midnight. I think it's on a Tuesday night onto Wednesday, but you actually don't see the price on the website yet. But if you add it to the cart, the updated price shows already. And then that, every Tuesday night, midnight, we've got quite a few people on our Discord. Is it going to be an Argos night tonight? And people kind of like quickly find out when people say, yep, there's deals or there's no deals.
That's good to know, because I keep checking every day. Yeah, that's good to know.
And when people turn up in the morning, it's like, oh, it's already sold out. I wonder how that happened. Well, it's probably quite a lot of people from my Discord who cleared it out. Unless you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere, they have an Argos where they have some stock left.
Yeah, because I posted something the other day in it would have been the Wednesday morning in the London AFOL's forum saying, look, there's some really good deals on these, and then people coming back in the afternoon going, oh yeah, they're not there anymore. And it's like, when you're saying that there was a good deal in the morning and responding back, that's the time that like
Right.
So,
I haven't seen any really good deals though in the last year or so. I remember at some point there used to be some really good deals. I remember getting like, was it the Ecto 1 for like £80, or when some stuff from like Amazon Germany was literally 70% off once. It was like, I think it's nearly 2 years ago. It was just, I haven't seen deals like that for a while now.
No, I remember that Ecto 1 and it's sort of like, has somebody just screwed up? Because that was such a...
I know. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely snapping that up.
Because even now, like you see that go on sale, it's like, it's on sale and it's like £160. And it's like,
yeah, you know, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Or when you see Assembly Square on sale at like John Lewis for 20% off, and it's like, yeah, well, before the price rise, it was like 180, and now it's on sale for like 200 and something. So,
Right.
but yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of a lull. I think usually what I've been doing is each week going through and doing the top 5 most expensive Lego sets from a particular year. Usually I'd ask if people know any of them, but we're starting to go backwards in time. So I think maybe the question just becomes, how many of these do you actually have? Let's see now. I'll just bring it up. Just a quick little short.
Top 5 most expensive Lego sets, 2019 edition. Can you guess the most expensive? Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And number 1. Did you guess this was the most expensive?
Okay, I'll start off with Trevor. I'm guessing that you probably weren't in doing AFOL stuff then. So how many of those do you have? None.
None. None.
Nicole?
None. For 2019, none. But I have to admit that I probably will not be able to pronounce it correctly, but Apocalypse? Yeah, I really regret that I didn't buy it, because back I started buying Lego in 2018 and I saw it, I wanted it, but I thought I don't have the space for it.
Even then.
So, now I know there would have been space. I wish I had bought it, but
that one, that had an extremely short shelf life. It came out in the February and it was gone by Black Friday, because obviously the movie didn't do as well as what they thought. So all those sorts of sets, but that one in particular, it's just like moved it. And then Black Friday, I think even at the Lego store, they had it like, was it like 35% off or something crazy? So did manage to get that one. So Fred, how about you?
I got 2 of those. The Disney train, only got 1 of each. So they're in my storage unit, and the T-Rex one.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
Which hasn't done as well from an investment perspective people had hoped to. It's not done too well so far. The Disney train I haven't even looked. I know my son always wanted a Disney train. And I think I bought both. I think the T-Rex Rampage I bought from Argos. The Disney train I bought from Lego with a discount.
Yeah, I think the Disney train has done really well. And I remember at the time sort of thinking when it came out, it's like, well, if you got the castle and the train, everyone's going to buy the castle. Nobody's going to buy the train. Of course, the train retired, and then it's shot up, and it's like, why didn't I get that one? It's being dumb.
Yeah.
and a new castle is coming out apparently.
Yeah, the 100-year one.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm quite pleased I didn't buy the other one. I think the price of that one might tank.
Yeah, I think it's because even in the CMF line coming out, you got a Tinkerbell. Okay, I don't think it has like the the skirt piece or whatever, which the castle one had, but 6 of one, half a dozen the other, really. But my youngest is really into all the Disney stuff, and so he was disappointed one year when Santa didn't bring him the castle, so we knew about it for the next year. So guess what he got the following Christmas?
Oh.
So, I mean, just I think now we've officially had, was it today, the CMF Disney ones, official pictures and things like that. Is that what do people think of those? Is it something that you're looking forward to, or we'll start with Fred?
Yeah, I'll probably get them. I don't collect them, but I'll probably get a box to start selling individually. But I think they look good. I think they'll be very collectible. About a year ago, near where I worked, they had the old Disney one, the one that's 18 in a box, 18 different ones. They had them on discount, and I snapped up literally loads of them. They were like £1 or something, £1.50. So I was like, why shouldn't I buy them, right? And occasionally I still get orders for them now. People just finishing their collection. So yeah, I think the Disney ones are always going to be popular, especially now with the 100-year anniversary. I think it's even a bit more special than the previous edition.
Yeah, I think you've got just generally there's a like category of just Disney collectors. Like forget about Lego, just anything which is Disney they're into. So, or that they may come across and go, right, okay, I know there's some Lego Disney stuff, I'm going to get them. And then even within the Lego community, there's people who are just Disney fans anyhow. So, Trevor, what's your sort of thoughts on them?
I think they're really nice. It's certainly a collection I'd like to get. Yeah, I really do like them. I think it's a really good series for them.
Yeah, it seems like they've got a couple in there which have never quite done as characters before, so I'm sure that's going to be there as well. Dangling Wang, just spat noodles on my laptop. Be right back. Good to have you in. Always good to see you passing through. And Nicole, the series, what are your thoughts?
I really, really like them. It's I'm not as excited about it as I am whenever we get a Harry Potter series, but I really like the characters that we get. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I learned before when I got back into Lego. I never paid attention to minifigures beforehand. When I started opening a Bricklink store, I quickly realized the potential of minifigures.
Right.
But, yeah.
Maybe for you, if really the boxes come, they come. If it's not a question of if. Maybe for your Bricklink store, it could be a great potential, because if the Lego stores don't open them, then people could buy them from you. If they
you already see that lots of people do that already. Lots of people buy the boxes, like the big box of like 36 or however many they're in there, and tend to open them and then reseal them and sell them still not touched. So lots of people do that. I predominantly do that on eBay as well. You find that there's a lot more demand on eBay for those things than for minifigures than there is on Bricklink. Bricklink is more when it's retired, I would say, or when it's harder to find. People tend to go the average mum who wants a minifigure for their kid doesn't necessarily know about Bricklink,
right,
and tends to go to eBay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never bought from eBay.
How do you find with minifigures in terms of listing them? Because the thing I find with listing stuff on eBay is it just takes so long to actually create the listing. Or do you have templates, or
I've got a template, and I don't tend to add too much in the text field. The area where you put the general text, whatever, as a general template. It's just every time I update, just the name, obviously. And I think they've enhanced it quite a bit now, where if you put the title right with the name of the minifigure, it often even finds what minifigure it is already, and it does help with a lot of the things already. In terms, sometimes even allocate. I put the set number in as well, and it seems to know the theming and everything quite quickly. So I think they've improved it a lot. But I'm still not the biggest fan of eBay. I just don't think that their whole platform is very fair in terms of how it's set up. I've got a Bricklinks. Yeah, I've got a shop for my listings I pay 30 quid a month. But then there's obviously people who just wait for an offer to happen and then they sell it without the fees and stuff. Like, how is my loyalty of having a shop and paying the fee every month being rewarded versus someone who just waits for the offers because eBay are desperate to make a bit more money?
Yeah. We occasionally get those selling fees coming through because we sell occasionally.
Yeah.
And there was something which you just did sell just because we wanted to get rid of it, and the fees for it was like 17%, and then you had PayPal take theirs as well. It's just like, wow, like, no wonder why we wait for the 70% off fees, because this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, now they no longer even via PayPal. They have to go eBay managed payments, so they take that cut too.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you find many problems in terms of like scammers or people trying to return stuff or claiming broken or whatever?
No, because I very much limited only to selling minifigures, mostly on my eBay store. So, high value items, I wouldn't necessarily trust eBay on there. I am going to do my first ever brick festival this month. And hopefully we'll see how that goes from selling sets. That's where I see as an avenue of selling more rather than online, because you don't have to worry about potential returns or, people scamming you and things like that. I sell on Amazon as well. I've had a return on Amazon, and that's why it's nice to have a Bricklink store. And I had the Top Gear rally car returned to me, and that's probably one of the worst ones value-wise from a Bricklink perspective. And the reason why they returned it was to say, the battery pack doesn't work. And I looked at it when I got back. Obviously, they tried to build it. It was not like they were just scamming it. And I'm pretty sure the battery pack is double-sided, that they only put 3 batteries in it, but then open the thing out and then look at the other side for the 3 batteries. And I was like, because I'd looked at it and tried to do it, and I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. And then I like, this slides out. I need to put another 3 in there. I was like, I wonder if they did the same mistake. But then the one thing I did, I just like, oh well, I haven't parted this out. Just add different parts in my store, Yeah. That's why I think it's quite good to have a Bricklink store if you're selling Lego sets as well. If they get returned, for me, it's not the end of the world. Or same with like damaged sets that come. Oh well, it's not a total loss.
You can just not a total loss. Yeah,
you can just part them out and sell them on, can't you?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things as Lego as a product is that it has value in its individual pieces. Like usually if you have anything else which has individual pieces, unless it's a rare collector's item, it generally doesn't have value.
Right.
I've got that
car. Sorry,
carry on, Matt.
No, you go.
I've got the UCS, the land speeder, and the amount of people that just want the minifigures rather than the actual kit.
It's interesting that minifigures, the C3PO one was on Bricklink. There was a note about it, of it being loads of fakes of that version being about.
Oh, right.
I did build the land speeder as well and part out, and the minifigures just sold pretty much instantly.
When you if you build a set and then part it out and then put it on your store, do you do it as used bricks or used bricks, or
used bricks? It has to be used as once it's been built. And even I find like sometimes people go to the pick a brick wall and stack things together, and they will sell it as new. I never stack anything when I go to the pick a brick wall, because to me that then it's classified. As soon as things have been put together, it should be technically classified as used.
Yeah. I think you were commenting earlier on that video, which I did on the new pad boxes, that is breaking your eyes as a bricklink seller.
Yeah. Yeah, for personal use, it's great. The stacking, like when my son wants to build something and he gets stuff from a pick a brick wall, I'm like, you got to stack these. I know, like, I tell you not to stack for when it's for the bricklink store, but for you, if you want to build that, you start stacking, boy.
You are going to get your value out of this.
Exactly. Well,
yeah.
I do miss the days from when during COVID, when the pick a brick wall was kind of shut. They picked for you, and they always had like a mystery scoop. I felt that was really good value then. I always had some nice hidden gems that they used to give you, sometimes some random pieces which I wouldn't have picked. I was like, oh, well, this makes it definitely worth it. In my store, they were always very generous. At some point, they even did like a scoop for every pick a brick cup, and I once bought like 8 pick a brick cups, and I had like a whole bag full of just loose Lego at the end with it. So it's like, what's going on here? It's almost like another 2 cups worth of Lego. But again, there was no consistency between the stores, because others would just do 1 scoop per order. Some would do a scoop for every cup. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to the Blue Water one, and they would do one. Well, it depended upon the staff manager or the staff person that you got doing
and the day of the week you went, on a Saturday, they wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. If it was busy and had lots of people in there, yeah, they generally weren't interested. But yeah, if you went first thing in the morning when there's nobody, or last thing at night, they didn't care. But to their credit, the one thing Blue Water used to do is they would let you pick which one.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, they do that. It's like, yes, the 8x8s, please. And they're just, big healthy scoop. And it's like, fantastic, loved it, and obviously still remembering it. So.
Have any of you been to Billund, to Lego House or Legoland there?
No, I haven't personally. It's a place I'd like to go to.
We should be going there very soon, because we were meant to go there in May 2020, and well, we know what happened.
Yeah.
I went last year. The Lego House is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, what sort of was the highlight for you?
For me, the highlight was going downstairs and like the history of Lego, and then you go into this room, and it's kind of in the middle of it, and it literally has by decade almost like the history of Lego with the sets there, and you start going through your childhood like, oh, I had that set, and it's really good. You see like the epic sets of Lego, right? The history.
Yeah.
So that for me, that was a highlight. But the whole way it was set up, with interactive areas, and yeah, it was really good to see it. And I know one of my followers had a set that he shared on the Discord, a picture of it, and he said, "Oh, Lego wanted it," and I actually saw it there in person as well. So it's like the display areas. It's really, really good. It's a good experience, and if you got kids, I definitely recommend having lunch there as well, because you get kind of like served by robots. They have like these conveyor belts coming out with like a big Lego box, and then the robots push you your food order to you. So that's kind of an experience.
Oh, nice.
But Denmark, they love their salt. Huh? Everything is so salty. Legoland was surprisingly quiet when we went there. And we bought an annual pass, which worked out cheaper than 2-day tickets, because we were there for in total 3 days. So we did 2 days Legoland and 1 day Lego House. And actually, if you have a Legoland season ticket, I believe you get a discount for the Lego House as well. So it's worth knowing. Also, the Lego House has a Lego store, obviously, and that's a proper Lego store where you get VIP points as well and gift for purchase. Legoland is clearly by Merlin, and it's not. You don't get any of that. They have a pick a brick wall inside Legoland, but it's by weight, and it's super expensive, so it's not generally not worth it.
Not worth doing. Yeah. Okay, that's.
But and if you fly, I assume you would fly. Billund Airport has a Lego store as well. When I was there, they had the architecture set of Billund Airport. This was last year. So, and that one is worth quite a bit. And they had it like you could buy up to 3, and if you then bought more than 3, the unit price was like £100 for one, but otherwise it was like £35 for the one. So I think I bought 3 then. Because I think they're going for like £90 or something like that on eBay.
Something like that. Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah, they did that on some of the things. Maybe it was another retailer. So like, yeah, if you really want them, we're more than happy to charge you for them, but because you're probably going to be scalping them or something. So
yeah. I'd love to go back to the Lego house this year purely because of the new set that they brought out, the exclusive, the Pirate. That looks absolutely fantastic. The Lego house, the special ones.
Yeah.
And I've seen a picture of people online where they've got the exotic parrot sat on top of the Pirate on the shoulder, which I thought was very clever. The new 3-in-1 exotic parrot set.
That's very clever. It's a brilliant idea.
It's really good.
So in terms of Legoland itself, is it just like sort of Windsor? Like, is there anything there which you go?
It's better than Windsor in terms of if you're got a bit older kids, they got more roller coasters. What was the Miniland was also very very different. Lots of like Danish style buildings, but I think it's not the biggest Legoland, but it's nicely done. And we went on the Sunday, and we thought this is going to be busy, right? This was I think it was in June, and they said it's super quiet, so there's hardly any queues. I think the longest we had to queue was maybe like 20 minutes. And apparently on the Sunday, it's because it's a changeover day where lots of people from Denmark, they arrive, and then they go again. So lots of people travel on the Sunday there. we were flying back on the Monday night. So it was quite good to know that like the Sunday, if you go to Windsor on a Sunday, it's absolutely packed. Whereas there it was a quiet day.
It's the opposite. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you all got the similar rides, right? Like Ninjago, the Dragon Ride, things like that.
Yeah.
But they've got a few of the older rides. They've got a little monorail that goes over like Miniland, and this whole Duplo playground they've got. But yeah, they definitely had some more more roller coasters than Windsor. Well, it sounds like Windsor are going to build a new roller coaster this year ready for next year.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't check that because a while ago I used to look at the planning applications for the area, because whenever they do that, they've got to put the planning applications through. And you could sort of see, because originally where they did Mythica, that was meant to be a Lego Movie 2 thing, because that's how the original plans were. But obviously the movie got released and it didn't do as well, so they changed it quickly.
Yeah, because in Florida, the same ride that you have for like what's it called? Forgot what it's now. Maximus, the big 4D screen in Legoland Windsor.
Yeah, the Skyline.
That's the one. Yeah. In Florida, they got the same ride, but it is literally like Lego Movie 2, because that whole area is like Lego Movie 2.
Movie 2, yeah, because they would have
done it at the time when it was, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they're planning on building a roller coaster next to. I think they had like some of those. I forgot what they call it, like raft races or something, like slide going down. Next to that area is designed now to have I think it's a dueling roller coaster. It's literally going to come down that hill.
Yep. No, I remember chatting with somebody on Instagram who works there, and they were mentioning that. They're like, "Oh, do you remember this old slide area?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, that one at the top where it wasn't particularly good, because you could come down, and if you weren't sitting on the thing properly, you get all wet, which obviously during the UK is mostly cold." It was never quite good. So as you're saying, it's going to be in that area. So it's sort of like they're probably it's a good use of space then if they're doing something interesting.
I wish they would reopen like the Star Wars display area. I wonder what they've done to that now, because that's kind of been closed for quite a while now, the indoor bit.
Well, they got rid of the actual Star Wars because when was that? Was that 2021, the beginning? All the parks which had the Star Wars in it, so you had Tokyo and California in particular, and the UK, they all got closed because Disney don't want it competing with their Disneyland.
Yeah, because obviously Galaxy Edge or whatever they've got down, Disney.
Yeah, but it's the sort of thing where, okay, the nearest Disneyland is Euro Disney, and as far as I'm aware, they don't have it, and I'm not sure they've got plans to get it.
Yeah, they're working on some Marvel stuff, aren't they? I think Disneyland Paris.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's definitely they're putting in, I think, a Marvel hotel, because we were there a couple of years ago, and they're building, like, you just had that whole area which was boarded up. I mean, has anybody else been to the Euro Disney?
No.
Yeah, I have.
How did you find it?
I've been different times. First time I went as a kid when I used to live in Belgium. Obviously, I loved it then. Then I didn't go for a long time. I had a business. We had a conference there, so then we got a free ticket to go in. Mostly hungover, so that was an interesting experience. And then I went with my kids about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's. I think it's still one of the better Disneylands compared to the ones I've been to from a ride perspective. You know, if you go on Space Mountain in Paris compared to like Florida's a huge disappointment compared to Space Mountain in Paris. But I think the big downside is the weather, right? It's always an issue, and it's just expensive, but that's to be expected at Disney. And yeah, you need to hit it at the right time of the year for the queues as well.
Yeah.
I feel like they're missing some rides to kind of manage the amount of people that they have
going through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went pre-COVID, and I think the service there was just horrendously bad.
Yeah,
so I remember. It was just, and it's to the point where it's sort of like, this is actually not workable, because we'd prepaid for a lot of things, and when we got there, they wouldn't recognize it. And trying to get that sorted, it's like, oh, you got to talk to a manager, but they're not on duty today. And it's like, well, that's nice, but what do we do? Like, oh, well, we'll call you back in a couple of hours, and of course they don't. You've got to go back down in a couple of hours, and it's like, you know about this? And it's like, oh yeah, whatever. And so
yeah,
I think we spent half the time there trying to resolve that, because they'd just be like, oh, just go off to because you pre-book a restaurant or something which had been pre-booked and prepaid. And you go off to the restaurant, and there was like an hour queue just to get to the actual counter to say, I'm here. And then it'll be like another hour. It's just like,
yeah.
It's French hospitality, eh?
So the one thing I will give it is, compared to Disneyland in the States, in Florida, is the food is just so sugary in the States, and it's heavy and it's greasy, and like none of it is good. Like if you're there for like a day or two after that, like, we just got to the point where it's like, we actually want to eat something healthy, and it's like, okay, we got a taxi to go to a local supermarket and get some fruit and stuff, because even in the park we went to somebody, it's like, is there anywhere here which has some healthy food or something that's light? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a pasta joint over there. I'm just like, oh, this is the one.
But which one did you go to in America? I guess Orlando, right?
Yeah, Orlando.
Because I find that America, the food options, because very much depends on which state you're in. It'd be interesting to see what the food options are like in California and Disney, because I find that the East Coast is a lot more unhealthy than the West Coast. Because now that we went to, now that we went again, we found that the food options again is not the best. But yeah, we were lucky that we kind of stayed in like a resort where we had our own kitchen and stuff as well. So we did go to like the local supermarket to make sure we had like fruit and stuff as well, at least some healthy options once in a while.
Yeah. Well, even if Stud's still there, because he's from New York, he might know. You go to breakfast, and they had this thing which was chicken, and it was covered in chocolate and sugar. And I'm just like, I don't even know what this is. Like, and you're having this for breakfast? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
So no, that was the thing with Euro Disney. Is at least, they had good food. Like when you could get it, it was fine. But it was,
Yeah, the French care about their food.
Mm.
But I found that the hotels weren't that well maintained.
No.
They were not the standard. If you get like in a 4-star hotel, you expect a certain standard, and I felt like it wasn't the standard that it should be at.
Well, we were coming back from the swimming pool and got locked out because the door lock wouldn't work. So it took like an hour to get somebody to come up, and like because you go down to reception, they fob you off, and like you're sort of half there, and it's cold, and you're in swimmers dripping because you can't get into your room, and you got next to nothing. And when they came up and then they fixed it, and then they went into like the bathroom, and under the sink there, they just knocked out a panel and pulled some parts out and closed the panel up and put like the parts onto it. So I think it gets to what you're saying, Fred, that they kind of expect it, and they're just they're just repairing stuff but not really doing it properly, and it's just like, wow, this is.
It's like a half job that they do every time.
Yeah. I think what was it?
Have you already booked your thing for Billund then?
Yeah, I think we're staying for about four nights or so.
And are you staying at the Lego places, or are you staying somewhere nearby?
This time we're staying at the Lego places because originally it was one of these weird things where when COVID came along, I think we were staying at like it was meant to be going for a whole week. It was like 3 days on the actual place, and then the other 4 days were at like one of the cabin sort of things down the way. But the cabin ones, basically, they wouldn't really refund it, even though it was COVID, because they were sort of like, oh, we'll give you like 40% back. And it's like, well, and then they're charging an admin fee on top of that to do that. And like, so it was next to nothing you got back in the end. I mean, it was, it may have been like £100 or something, but considering you'd spent like 600-700 or whatever it was. So yeah, we should be staying now. Actually in the hotel or in the park or something. I think my wife's been organising that side of it. So.
Yeah. Well, we stayed at this place called La Landia, which is literally just across the road from Legoland. It's like literally across, and it's like a sort of like center parks. I would say that was really good. Kids absolutely loved that because you had like, a bit of Lego, and then we went to the water park, and that was good. It's an indoor water park as well, so the weather doesn't really matter either.
Oh, is that actually at Lego? Is that Lalande?
It's a different one. It's Lalandia, so it's literally across from Legoland entry. So it was pretty good.
That was the one that we were meant to stay at, and they wouldn't really refund anything. So. It's probably why they're putting all the money back into it. So. The thing I was really surprised in Disneyland, Florida, and Fred, you might have noticed, is the number of mobility scooters. It was just phenomenal. They're just like everywhere, and it's because you'd have some people who were really, really big and obese, so you just saw them going around everywhere, and it's kind of like sometimes when you see like old people, and they'll be like in the street or whatever, and they don't care. They'll just drive straight into the back of your ankles the whole time.
But yeah, I find Florida such an unhealthy state in terms of people don't tend to look after themselves very well, just from the food options alone and the lack of exercise. But I remember once I flew with my wife. We went to Vegas and we had a stopover in Houston, and we were just waiting for our next flight. And I looked and there's like a gate, and there was literally tons of obese people. I was like, wow, look at those people, you know? And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, I bet you that flight goes to Florida. I had to get up and I went to the gate and it said Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, I told you. I was like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's, you know, say don't stereotype people, but it's just, it's if you've been to various places in the States, it's very obvious. And, you know, that's the one thing we quite like Florida for the weather and everything, but the food, you have to really search to find healthy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, even Stud's saying everyone pokes fun at Florida. So.
Oh, that's funny.
But the kids loved it. They'd go back in a heartbeat. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The one which wanted the Disney castle is so keen to go back, and sort of like, when are we going? And yeah, it's like
we need to sell more Lego.
Yeah,
lots more.
And get into your store.
Yeah, my sons were like, "Oh, can we get this Lego set?" And I'm like, "Do you think this is going to fit in our suitcase?" It's like, we can buy this set exactly like my oldest son. He wants the Great Wave, right? And I was like, well, they sell this in England too, you know, and actually Amazon Germany always has it on offer for about 80 euros. I was like, and it was recently on offer and recently back in stock in Brighton. He's like, oh, can we get it? I'm like, no, I can get it from Amazon Germany for like 80 euros. And I've seen it's going to, at one point it'll hit 70. So be patient.
Yeah, I'm much the same. I sort of walk into the Lego store and they'll want something, and it's like, yeah, we'll get it when it's on sale. And it goes on sale.
Right.
Yeah. Always looks for like my son, he loves loves Technic sets, and I'm like, oh, I hate it when he wants Technic sets, because that's the one stuff I don't part out to again add to my store, because it's all the pins and everything is just too painful to take it all apart. Yeah. So, and he, you know, he has like a thing when he hits 250 subscribers on his channel, he's gonna build the big McLaren F1, and he's waiting for that. And there's this like, I just dread it when it's, because it's such a big beast. I'm like, where are you gonna put this?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you're saying with the Top Gear rally car, the thing which I used to be like heavily into Technic, and then when I was a kid I loved it, and then coming back into it now, I was into it for a bit, but then they went across to the new app motors and things, and the thing which we really noticed, like even the Top Gear car, the motor just had no power. Like it's just, you know, it's meant to be a fast car and whatever, and it's so heavy and it just wouldn't go anywhere. So it wouldn't surprise me even if those people had managed to get the other 6 batteries in, they sent it back because it's like, yeah, it doesn't really work too well anyhow. But that was one set which was, you know, it was meant to be 125 pounds, but it was constantly like 75 pounds, and then occasionally be like 60.
Yeah, I got some from mine from Argos for like, I think it was 50 even. But yeah, I got a few at 60 as well, which I thought was good. I wish they still did the 9-volt train tracks. You know, the batteries on trains is such a pain. You know, I know the tracks cost a lot more that way, but come on. You know, just plug it into the mains and just there you go. Never worry about batteries.
Yeah.
Just looking at the back of Bowser's head and something's not right.
That's the one thing I haven't really been into is the Mario stuff for Lego.
Yeah, the kids were initially into the games and stuff like that. I find for what I call the more D2C sets have been quite good. So like Bowser, the Nintendo,
the NES
TV one. I mean, even we've still got to build it yet. The airship, because it looks like what it did in the Mario game. I mean, that was the thing I just found so bizarre about it. It's sort of like you walk out of the movie and there's, particularly we went into Blue Water and it's Mario is now what I call in the corner of death at Blue Water. It's in that corner right next to the edge of the pick-a-brick. And it's like all the lines go there to die. It's like when they had the DC stuff in, it would go there. When they had the bad
Corner of
Mario
death
stuff in there. Now they've got the Super Mario stuff. And because Mario stuff used to be like when you first walked in, it would be like, the equivalent of like 4 or 3 bays. And now it was like down to 1. And even I was listening and some guy walked in and it's like, oh, yeah, I want a Bowser set. And there was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like that's the whole thing with the big movie. And I mean, we can go on with they don't have minifigs, which it just seems like such an own goal with that. Like they had nothing special to go with the movie. So
I'm surprised they haven't brought anything out to do with the movie.
Sorry?
I'm surprised that they haven't brought out a special set, at the same time with the movie, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's nothing you've gone and seen a movie, you're all hyped about it, whatever. Let's go, get some related stuff. Because in any other sort of media, you've got like special figures which are coming out and Mario Karts and all sorts of wonderful things. I just didn't particularly get it. I mean, Nicole, have you ever looked at any of the Mario stuff? Not
really. I have the yellow cube, and I really like the yellow cube. I'm fascinated by the functionality that it opens up, how well it fits. It really snuggles in, and I think it's genius.
It's interesting because that's the one that I don't really particularly care for it, but my missus, when she went to the Lego store, she's like, oh, I quite like the look of that one. I was like, really? It's like, it doesn't appeal to me.
Right.
Yeah, I think the engineering on it's great in terms of like what, as you're saying it, you got these builds and they all 3 of them, I think it just folds in.
Right.
I think part of the problem is that they're small little things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be like I get it in terms of that you need it to do that, but yeah, so
right. But all the other sets I do not really get. These play sets, it's I don't see the appeal to it. No. I think it's is it really fun to have the small little figure and then jump around, and not even the building process looks fun.
I feel like you just do it for like one time and you'll just put it away. You won't even play with it again.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a 5-minute toy and that's it.
Yeah, it's very much that novelty thing, and I mean, the couple of things with it is they don't come with any instructions, so it's done off the actual app, which I just don't like the app. And the way that the instructions go is that as you go through and you build it, like it will show you, okay, this step you open a bag. If you then go backwards and forwards, it won't show you that step. So if you miss something, you can't tell if you've gone past where that bag would be.
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying. You've got to constantly be syncing the thing, which is a bit painful. And then because of the way that they're set out in those long strips, they're actually quite hard to store. Yeah. Because you've either got to take them apart, in which case things get smashed up, or you've got to set them somewhere which has a large footprint for, lots of little plates.
Right.
Yeah, I must admit, I also avoid the sets from a bricklaying perspective, even if the prices are good. They're just such unique parts that they're very much, a lot of them are just very unique to the theme, that I don't think there's going to be much demand for some of those parts from looking at just the pure design of it. It would have been much better if they had gone with a similar design as the Sonic set, I would feel.
Yeah.
I think that people would have been a lot more into it if they had done it with builds like that. But the fact that it's also unique to it, I think they really cut a lot of the potential audience that would buy it, even if it's just from the parts perspective.
Yeah, because a lot of your plates are those like ones with the rounded curves on them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay. Because even if you're doing some form of landscaping or something for mocks and things, it's like, okay, you can kind of use them, but again, as what you're saying, they're kind of unique in that way. So it's
because they don't have studs all around. It's just on the edge, isn't it? If I remember correctly, I haven't even come them across because I just avoid it at all costs.
But, yeah, it's like, imagine just taking a 6x6 plate, and then on the corners you're just rounding them off, and some of them are slightly elevated, like it's you've got like another little plate pizza shape sitting on the corner almost.
Right.
So I mean, the other thing which has come out in the last week has been some of the Star Wars announcements. Obviously, you got the UCS X-Wing.
Another X-Wing. Because we haven't had enough of them yet.
So I take it you're not getting it then?
If the price is right, I always get everything. So.
And it's probably going to have a little minifig in it, so which will be somewhat exclusive. And then I think the other ones which were announced was the throne room and the Endor displays.
Are you into these? Into these diorama builds?
I've got a couple in the backlog to build because I think Argos a while ago had them on sale for a good price.
Yeah.
I mean, have you've built them, Nicole, or some of them? Or?
I only have the trash compartment thingy, the one with where the walls. Yeah, right. That one I have, and I really like it.
Yeah, I'll build that one. That was really good. It's very clever how the two sides connect to each other the way they've done it, right? So it's like,
right,
because the parts are on one side and they're connected to the other side, but just like integrated perfectly, just to still create the gap for the minifigures to fit in as well.
Right. The only thing that I changed is the back door, because I didn't like that it is built in. So I thought it's not really nice to have R2D2 and C3PO standing on the other side, being blamed not to rescue the guys, and they are built in.
So you changed it over.
Yeah, and it's really easy to do. So.
Well, it's on offer at the moment in Argos. I need to go pick some up. It's 50 quid for the trash compactor.
That's a good price.
Yeah. I got to go pick some up.
90 quid when that came out.
I've got to pick some up from 2 different Argos. I placed 2 orders. It's all from a parts perspective. It's got lots of good parts as well. Lots of tiles that, because I broke it apart afterwards, and it's done quite well. Those parts. I built the other diorama as well. The only one we haven't done yet is the trench run. That's the one we haven't built yet. think they're nice builds. They're just a bit expensive for what they are.
For what they are.
But I think it's because of the minifigures, right?
Yeah.
That and the usual sort of Star Wars tax sort of things.
Yeah. Got to pay the Disney licensing.
Get through with that. And a shout out to Brick Pasta. Good to see you around. I don't think we've seen you around for a while. Hope that you're going well. Certainly, back in the day, Brick Pasta used to do some really, really good reviews, and just the way that they shot everything was always done really nicely. So, yeah. So, how are you getting on with your build there, Nicole?
I have one successful build.
Oh, wow.
That's cute.
Yeah. I think the official price is €10, and I got it from Amazon for $7.99. So €8. It's a nice build. I really like it.
The colors in the tail and the mane are quite nice.
Yeah.
That.
It's really, really colorful. And there's quite some how do you call it for a max and these kinds of, there is some
articulation.
Yeah. That's the word that I was looking for. Yeah.
Are you going to build the other design from the set?
Probably not. I really, really like the 3-in-1 cozy house. That one is one of the only sets of the few sets that I built, disassembled, and I'm going to build the other houses as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Usually, I'm rather someone who buys then the other two sets as well in order to be able to build it, which is really, really silly, right? For our children, as if I had children. Children, use your imagination, take it apart. What is it? What I do? Buy the same set again.
I really find that Lego have stepped up their game with the 3-in-1s. I think some of the better sets are the 3-in-1 sets lately.
Right. And the prices
I often
are really
wonder.
nice.
Sorry.
Oh, and it's just the cozy house. I think it's Amazon discounted for €40. It's really nice.
I often wonder how many people actually do take them apart and build the other two sets that are part of that one set. But you just proved me wrong on that one, that you go out and buy the other set.
Right.
Get the other ones. Yeah, I think that was when I came out of the Dark Age. That was the thing which I just found bizarre, that they're highlighting that, this is a 3-in-1 set. And so, well, back in the day, you used to build, they'd have at least two models for everything, and then a lot of them would have, or be called some universal type set, and it would have 5 different models.
But no instructions for the others. Just had to kind of figure out. We had to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, you get a picture on the box from one angle.
Yeah. Aged 8. Okay, great.
Great. And yeah, particularly if you had a Technic set and a motor, and you could only see it from one side, and you had no idea how the gears went.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's.
And I remember the old instructions. They didn't even show you the pieces that needed to be added. You just had to figure out what pieces were being added on the instructions. You know, it's it was not as clear now. Every time the top of the page tells you need this piece, but it wasn't like that back in the day.
Yeah, and the steps would be dense. You'd have
a lot more in one step.
Because you could build a model. Some of them would only go over 2 pages or something. Because there's the have I got it? Yeah, I got it handy. I'll show. So this was one that I had when I was a kid. sort of, we call it the little pump up truck. You can just do that there.
I remember you demonstrating that. Yeah.
Greg sort of likes the pump up feature on it at times. But that whole thing there, it's got pneumatics in it, steering. Try to get this. All these different functions and whatever. And this is literally 24 steps over 2 pages, and that's it.
Yeah.
To do the whole model. And it's just like, wow. Yes, I certainly remember like what you're saying there, Fred. It's sort of like they'll do each step. There'd be a lot in each step. You wouldn't have any of the boxes up in the top calling out the parts, and in the step it wouldn't highlight like have outlines around the parts that you're adding. So it was literally, one of those where when you got a kid and you got 2 different pictures and it's like, pick the 5 differences.
Yeah. But I'm just also wondering if that really helped for the development growing up in terms of you pay more attention to details and really start to look at focusing things. And maybe now it's becoming a bit too easy, or people making it, people looking at, my 10-year-old can build 18-year plus sets, because of probably those steps that they've incorporated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's the 18 plus for me, when they changed that over to the black boxes, it changed from the age used to be relative to ability, whereas now when they do the 18 plus, it's sort of more, that's a demographic.
Yeah.
And 2 different things.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, even I think the Sonic set, that's got 18 plus on it. I remember being in a John Lewis, and you had a dad there and a son, and the son picked up the Sonic set, and it's like, oh wow, I want to get this, and the dad looked at it and went, no, it's 18 plus, you can't have it, and walked off.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, this is really messing things up now.
Right.
It's is it at the I think Winnie the Pooh and Sesame Street, I think both of those are 18 plus. It's like, okay.
Right.
You see, my son's the same. He's 12 and yet he's building 18 plus sets. So he doesn't find an issue with them.
Right.
Now, once you get used to building Lego regularly, it becomes, you get used to it.
Right.
And now my son has come to the realization he even knows when he's made a mistake, when he's got the parts left over that he's not meant to. So
Right.
I always say to my son, if it doesn't fit together, it's meant to fit together. Lego is meant to fit together.
Yeah.
Let me look there. Instead, I can't believe they didn't crack those moon base plates. Is that the one where you've got like there's like a right angle and it's sort of like molded moonscape, I guess you call it. They were in some of the ones there. Brickcaster. I found that I'm super detail orientated. I feel debugging programs helped with that. Yeah. I think the only thing though, the downside was with having so few steps and being so dense. I remember certainly with some of the Technic sets as a kid, you could get extremely frustrated with them because they were you only need to be out by a little bit and they wouldn't come together and you have no idea.
Right.
I remember as a kid, I used to love the big system sets as well. I think there was like a big truck with like a helicopter on it. I played for hours with that one. I think that was from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. And I think too that was the thing when you didn't have as many what I sort of think of as specialized parts. Things are a little bit more universal. As now you get some parts and
they can only be very specific things, unless you're a mocker and you're coming up with wonderful parts usage. But for the average kid, it's sort of like, well, that is going to be what that is. There's less scope and flexibility. I don't know. Well, what do others think about the way that the parts have been developing over the years?
You can certainly build a lot more with the parts now than you could do. The versatility of everything.
Yeah. I'm not really sure if the children are the ones who are now against taking it apart, or if it's the parents. I don't have children, but I could imagine that if you give a child a set that is really, really expensive, and then they take it apart and all the pieces are lost, it's maybe from an investment point of view, if the parents hope to sell it again and then the pieces are gone, or half of it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, Fred, how do you and your obviously you got your investment Lego, you'll have Lego for your Bricklink store or sets that you build which get recycled into the Bricklink store. What about just sort of general sort of this is part of our sort of Lego collection that we use to play and build with? How do you guys sort of work that?
Some sets we just want to keep, and we just keep them separate. So pretty much everything that's in this room is for sale. Most of the stuff that is in my son's bedroom is our collection. Apart from the stuff that he sometimes still builds on his YouTube channel, because that's built in his room. But we kind of pre-agree before what he gets to keep and what he doesn't. And because we're running out of space, it's becoming more of an issue. But he collects Speed Champion sets, so and he likes the vehicles, so those are the sort of things that we generally tend to keep. But everything else, I like the modular buildings, so we keep those. But then it's sometimes if he runs out of space, he has to make decisions to give up something because we're really running out of space now. And he still wants to build, so he understands if he wants to keep building, he has to make decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
And he understands, which is the main thing.
Right.
Because for him, it's
no,
interesting.
My daddy taking my toys away from me.
No, but it's interesting. My two sons are very different. The youngest one, he loves the Jurassic stuff, but he doesn't really care about building Lego. He cares about playing with the Lego. He got the imagination to play once it's built. Whereas my oldest one, once it's built, he has no interest in it anymore. He's like, I built it, great, done. He's all about the building experience, not so much about the playing. And the youngest one all wants to just he loves all the dinosaurs and he just wants to play with the dinosaurs. And he creates scenes in his bedroom with them and things like that. But yeah, the oldest one just doesn't really care once it's built. He's like, I built it, and some of it he gets to keep, and some of it not.
Right.
Yeah, our two are a little bit like that. There's one which we'll just go through and generally build it, and then it's all about the building experience and creating something and following a set of instructions. And the other one, it's all about playing with it and having their little wars and whatever else it is and those sorts of things. So, I mean, it's good that it's kind of versatile like that, but yeah, it comes down to that. There's certainly much the same. There's some Lego which we know with the Star Wars ones, they're going straight into the play collection because they love the Star Wars. So the minifigures end up goodness knows where, and spaceships are crashing around and stuff. So it's sort of like, which is good because then it's like it's built, it gets thoroughly loved and used and played with.
Right.
We have a whole box full of minifigures. One of those Lego cube boxes, the square ones. So that's just they don't tend to play much with the minifigures, but we've got them all. I'm like, it's probably quite a big fortune in terms of actual minifigures in this box.
Yeah, I've probably a bit like you in terms of like at least from the Bricklink side of things. I don't understand minifigures. I think there's even an app out there where you can like just take photographs and it says, "Oh yeah, this torso is from this figure" or something. So
Yeah.
Oh, I've learned a lot about minifigures now, but when I started, I didn't have a clue, and quickly felt like I needed to learn. But personally, I don't really care for them when I build something. You know what I mean? I don't really care for buying a set because of a minifigure. I care more about the build experience of building a set overall. Whereas lots of people will buy a set because they want that minifigure in their collection.
yeah, I mean, I can understand that from, I guess, if you're really into Star Wars, because you know some of those minifigures they come out in that one set, and you know the franchise will move on, and that figure's probably never going to get redone again. I mean, of course, you'll get the original trilogy. You know, how many Lukes are you going to get? How many Princess Leia's, Han, Chewie, all that, Yoda's. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Trevor, on minifigures?
I don't buy a particular set purely because of the minifigures. The minifigures, you know, I'll build them as part of the set, but the ones I collect mainly are the ones in the CMF range, you know, that they bring out as a set more so than collecting minifigures and parting them out of sets, to be honest.
Yeah. And Nicole?
There are many sets which I just bought for the minifigures, especially Star Wars. Yeah, but city sets as well. Even the animals, if it has a cute, I don't know, raccoon and unsold. Animals and minifigs are my weak point.
But do you in your city do you sort of like have like the characters and create scenes in it and use them that way?
Not yet, but in my former city I had that. I had a Shakespearean character with a head in its hand, walking around, citing Shakespeare, and I love that. Having created little sceneries of groups of minifigs and single minifigs, and I really like that. Yeah, some of it just came out of desperation. In my old city, I had a hospital, and I'm not really a mocker. I just realized later that I had built a building over multiple storages or floors.
Yep.
I'm not really a good builder, so I had no chance to build stairs. So the only access that my minifigs had was to the ground floor, where the cafeteria was. All the surgery and all the other rooms available were non-existent for most of my population, except of the heroes. So there was a whole section of the city just for heroes. Everyone else wasn't able to get sick.
I must admit, I've always been a little, not so much confused, but particularly, I don't know, maybe because it's something that James started doing when he was always just sort of going, you know, how does a minifigure get from this floor to that floor? And it became a thing. Like, I just, maybe I'm just too old school where we had like very basic sort of police stations and fire stations, and there was no stairs going up. It's literally you take a character from here and you put it up there. It's
right.
So I just find it, yeah, it's kind of amusing to me that people can get hung up when like you don't have stairs, and if you were a real minifig, you wouldn't be able to walk up this. Like what? I don't know. Am I just being a little bit crazy with that, or is that?
I think you are the rational ones.
no.
Me, I'm the crazy one who thinks of looking at my city. At one point, I realized I have awfully few toilets. I have quite a population of minifigs, only 3 toilets in the whole city.
Oh, you're being so considerate. Because they had a city set, it must be 5 years ago now, which was like a construction site, and they had like a portaloo or like one of those little blue toilets for it, and I always thought that was amusing, like.
Right.
And I think that was one of the first sets where you had that, which I saw the life-saving ring, and so because that was the first time I saw it in that set, it's like, well, it's always been a toilet seat. So
Oh, yeah. Right.
I'm not going to help, but yeah, you get the so,
yeah, right.
It's like the toilet seat part.
Right.
But yeah, it's just something Studs picked up here. The Galaxy Explorer unfortunately didn't sell well in the US. I think maybe if the main largest set like a module, it would have been done better. Yeah, it was always 30% off after a month, and now it's 50% in most places, and they have tons on the shelf. Like, I don't know. I think I've only ever seen it on sale once here, and it was sort of like £10 off. Like,
I got a feeling that the US, maybe less people grew up with Lego than maybe in Europe, widely available, those sets. I don't know. Maybe the history of it back. Maybe lots more people had it over here. It's just a guess. Seems more nostalgic here. I think Lego is, really booming in the US. Not maybe from like 30 years ago, but it was always quite big in Europe. I at least remember from my childhood. I don't think there wasn't that much Lego store presence maybe in the US back then. Just speculating. I'm not saying that's a fact.
Because that's the thing I've always seen, like when we watch a lot of the Americans, or that, like, they're always talking about that one being on sale and everything like that, and it's like, just waiting for that like 40-50% off here, and it's not happening.
Right.
Although I think Stud, I think can't remember, is having a chat maybe on Instagram or something like that, and I mean he did have one of the original space sets. I think it was like a little grey one. I can't even remember the number of it now. It was basically one of those ones where you just had like a 2x8 plate, a couple of wings, a couple of guns, and that was about it. But it's certainly an interesting one. And you got Brickmaster Rio Durante is a good example of a figure one and figure and done. Yep.
I've got a Lego brick stuck in some other brick. That's quite annoying.
Is that like a tile in the bottom of something?
No, that would be easy. It's literally a 1x2 brick that's stuck in one of these bins.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you now. There.
Yeah, it's
properly wedged in the head.
The edge. It's like, probably gonna need some tweezers or something to try to get that out.
Might have to go out.
Brick Askew, I'm definitely guilty of buying sets for figures or animals. The animals one can get interesting when you're seeing people and so like buying a particular type of farm animal. I mean, obviously the classic one is the goat.
There's that set that was the picnic in the park, right? That had all the squirrels, the city sets. I think it's retired now. I remember someone on my channel referred to that as the squirrel battle pack. Which I thought was quite funny. So me and my son now refer to that set as the squirrel battle pack whenever we see it.
That's cool. Was that an April Fool's about Eldorado re-release?
Well, I think so. I think that was not an April Fool's.
So yeah, that was going to be the next question. Started sort of like, what stores are they on discount at? Because we might be in the States at some time soon, so pop along and have a look. I wonder how many you could bring back.
Technically, your limit is £390 worth of stuff, isn't it? From a customs perspective, before you have to declare it.
Okay, well that's handy to know, because if they're 50% off and that's like $50 American. And then
leave your clothes behind and just get Lego back. All right, I need to go find something to get this brick out. I'll be back in a sec.
No worries. Let's take that 442 tiny Galaxy Explorer in white. It wasn't even called Galaxy Explorer then. It was just a wired space shuttle. Yeah. Can't find that set. Seals for the life of me. The tiny poly bag set. Yeah. Did you guys have anything planned for the Easter weekend?
Probably meeting with family. Yeah.
Forgive my ignorance on this, is like Easter a big sort of religious kind of holiday in Germany, or it just sort of happens, or?
It used to be, but nowadays it's just it's still a holiday for meeting family, almost equal to Christmas, but it's not as religious as it used to be. For example, theoretically, in former times, I wouldn't be allowed tomorrow to eat meat. I should eat fish, and but I think nowadays no one pays any attention to it anymore.
To that, yeah, it's and in terms of, I guess, probably more for kids and things like that, is it still big? Like, do you have like giving chocolate eggs and all that sort of stuff, or?
Yeah, and there's are still Easter egg hunts. The only thing that changed in not in recent years, I think in the last 20 years, that back when I was a child, there were Easter egg hunts and I got chocolate. But at the end of me being a child, it slowly started that we got presents. And I think nowadays it's more about presents than about chocolate.
Oh, really?
That's what my impression is. I don't have children, but it even started with me when I was a child in the last years of me being a child, that it started that we got presents for Easter.
And is that just because of the way it went that way, or is that like a health thing, or sort of going, oh, chocolate's not good, or?
No, I don't think that it was a health thing. It was just probably children taking over. Yeah.
Fair enough then.
Yeah.
Trevor, do you sort of have anything planned for the weekend?
Nothing planned at the moment, but if the weather's nice, we'll be going to some parks, playing some football, have some family time. So I've been working at the beginning of this week, so a well-earned rest over Easter. We're getting back to it.
No, excellent, nice.
Plenty of chocolate, of course.
And it's the sort of thing, we just had some chocolate. We might need to go to the park for a walk or something.
Yeah.
Polish side of the family is hardcore Easter. The Italians as well. I couldn't eat meat. Okay, Good Friday either, or any Friday for that matter. Yeah, we were where we grew up in Australia. It was kind of quite rural, and it was very, very religious in that way. So it was definitely, you're only eating fish, you're not eating meat, church services, all that sort of stuff. And
right.
Yeah, pretty much everybody did it. But then, certainly
I think that that town at that time was quite insular, I guess you could say. So, like very traditional.
Right.
And then had Brig Skew. I was in Crete for Easter last year. They take it quite seriously over there. Delicious lamb on the day as well. And then studs come out. The Pope changed the rules at some point. Okay.
Oh.
That could be interesting. Do you know which one or what time frame, or just kind of curious? What do you got? Fish or pizza? And Ian, is it that you can eat beaver due to a Pope claiming beavers are fish, or was that what? I know. Am I reading that right? Is there some sort of autocorrect going on here which is making this weird? I know barnacle geese were categorized as fish, as thought they had hatched from barnacles. I don't know whether he's being serious or
Oh.
Instead, I think it was the early 90s the Pope changed, but I'm not sure. Okay, no, that's interesting. Fred, have you got any sort of plans for the long weekend?
Not particular. No, I got the mother-in-law coming over tomorrow, which is okay. She's nice, and we're just gonna take it easy. Chocolate for sure. I coach football kids under 11, so I got that on Saturday, and my oldest already asked if we can go into Brighton, which usually means he wants to go to the Lego store. So he's like, I know he's like, can we go to Brighton? I'm like, what are you after? It's like, I know what he's like.
It sounds like he knows which buttons to press. And
yeah, but I tell him, like, look, we're not buying anything at the moment. There's no deals on. There's nothing. Things like, He's got to get used to it. It's not always every time we're going to buy something.
Yeah. I mean, does he ever go the other way? And although I think you said that you don't tend to go to the Lego store that much, but in terms of it's like, oh, you ask him, I'm going to the Lego store. He's like, no, I don't want to go.
They used to be like when I went every Friday. I'm like, I'm off to the Lego store. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to go to the Lego store again. It's like they've just been like so often. The novelty is definitely worn off at a time. So yeah, I literally went every Friday. I was there, but now, yeah, I'll still go quite regularly. But yeah, as long as there's new stuff, they want to come. But I'm building up my VIP points, and one day just gonna go splurge, and then they look forward to that because that's gonna be a crazy day.
Dare we ask how many VIP points you have?
At the moment, 145,000.
Oh
wow!
So I'm aiming for 250,000, and then maybe we'll go crazy.
I think I've got something like 14 or 15,000.
Yeah, I think I have about 26,000. Yeah.
Yeah, something. I think I'm about the same, but I mean, usually it's the one time New Year's Day. Usually go and get some releases, so or usually a release. So like usually use it then because at least you can kind of convince yourself that it's
a New Year's present.
Yeah. It's like, okay, get something at least. And
you know how you were talking earlier about minifigures and realism and things like that. There's one set that really bugged me with it, and it's one of the latest modular buildings, the Boutique Hotel. You know, like the staircase, it goes up, and then the next floor literally almost covers the staircase. I'm like thinking, how could a minifigure literally walk up the stairs and bang his head against the the roof? It just like, it feels like it's such a flaw on that set. And I'm like thinking, what have you guys done? And I literally, because my son built it, and I'm like, you made a mistake here, right? So I looked at it, I'm like, nope, you did not make a mistake. I was like, this does not make sense. Maybe I should have put an elevator shaft and it would even be better. But it's just, the stairs literally feel like the minifigure couldn't even fit. It's going to hit the roof.
That's incredible. I never noticed that.
so Nicole's going to go check it out now.
It's like, is it the sort of thing where a minifigure with like short, stumpy legs can fit through, or is it just going to?
I know. Don't know. Maybe they just the bellboy just chucked the suitcases through the gap, and that's it. And then... that's the one thing that bugged me about that set.
At some stage, if I ever get it and build it, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. And it's like French doorway. Pain.
I do like my modular buildings, although my son starts to love them as well. He's like, "Yeah, I want to build that one too." I was like, "Okay, sure you do." I haven't got the newest one yet, but it's definitely. I said we'll wait for a deal when it's on John Lewis, probably 20% off, or a decent deal on Lego somewhere. But I'm like, the Jazz Club will come up with points.
Something I haven't got anything of. I haven't got one modular, not yet. I haven't attempted one yet.
They're my favorite builds usually.
Yeah,
it's what got me back into Lego. Many years ago, got the first one I got back. I think it was the Fire Brigade. And I remember, because I hadn't done Lego for probably 10 years, when I got back into it, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And me being the rookie mistake, I opened all the bags in one go. I was like, oh my goodness, took forever to find the pieces. Like, 3,000 pieces on the pile. I'm like, what an amateur is this? Like, I quickly learned not to do that ever again.
That's funny.
It's almost like when you buy like a set secondhand, it's all broken down, like it's a big one.
Oh yeah, because I bought the lighthouse set, the motorized lighthouse, off somebody on eBay, and I opened the box and it was just in different like freezer bags, and I thought, and I just had to. It took me ages just to sort it all out. I thought, I'm going to sort it all out, so because I can't, build it like this. So yeah, I know what you mean. That's the downside from buying secondhand off eBay. Everybody shoves it in freezer bags or whatever.
Yeah, because we got the Ghostbusters firehouse off secondhand, and it's got like 4,000 pieces and things like that. And the one that we had, it was just in. I think they'd stuffed it in just like a big garbage bag into a box. So it's just trying to figure out how to.
Right.
How was the lighthouse? Because that's one definitely still on my list to get. It looks good, that lighthouse.
It was a beautiful build, that was. Yeah, beautiful build. And then, because we're on about cases, on the other stream, weren't we, Matt? And I just had to buy a case for that.
Yeah.
It looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one, which I'm still debating about, because I think it's going to retire this year, is the is it the haunted, not the haunted house, haunted mansion? Is it? What do they call it? Or or is it the? It's got the drop ride sort of thing.
All right, yeah.
I
think it's the haunted mansion.
Yeah,
I know which one you mean.
Yeah.
I know which one you mean. Yeah,
it's one that was on offer on Halloween. I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think it could have been, but I sort of looked and was like, I think it wasn't listed to retire, so it's like maybe something next year. But I mean, getting back to what you were saying a bit earlier, Fred, I think even like you'd see some of the percentage drops and things like, say last year when you had the Red Technic Ferrari, that would drop to about 210 at different points. And this year, the best I've seen it drop to is about 240. So it does feel like a lot of them are not dropping as much as what they used to as well.
Yeah, it's strange. Some don't drop and some drop right away. Like the new blue, is it a Ferrari? It's a Technic set?
The Ford GT.
I think, it's
the 2022 Ford GT only came out this month or last month. Yeah, it's already on discount. I've seen it in Germany.
Right. And it's a good, from what I saw, it looks like a really nice car.
Yeah, because I think it's £105 or £115, something like that, and it's already for less, like €90 or less.
Right.
Isn't that technical?
Yeah, it's Technic, and it's a decent size. It's not a small car.
Yeah.
For the price, it really is surprising.
Yeah, it's like the mid-size range that do. You've got the the top end, which is your Ferrari and Lamborghini Cayenne, and then it's sort of like the next size down, which it's usually around that 100 to 150 price point.
Right.
And Ian's just in the chat educating everybody about geese and beavers and things. So, what's happening in Canada? I guess the other thing I was just going to quickly show is I did the long version of the little boxes review, but then also did a little quick short version of it.
Which is better value, old Lego Pab Cups or new Lego Pab cardboard boxes? Let's find out. $216 plates, 298 plates.
This is just a quick little one, and I can see Fred wincing at those plates all stuck together.
I deliberately did not look at the screen. Those 4x4 plates are always in high demand for mill plates.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I got them for. So I think you're putting the kids to bed when we sort of mentioning a little bit about it, but I think it may have even been on Discord having a chat with you about it, but trying to get more than about 20 from a Bricklink seller in the UK is pretty impossible. So, and then
as soon as you have them in stock, they go as well.
Yeah,
at almost any price, you can almost charge they go. People are just willing to pay the premium for it because they need them.
I was also looking at like bricks and pieces in. I think they go for about 19p each. So you've got a fair amount of headroom before somebody gets desperate to have it at an undefined point in a couple months' time.
Right.
Yeah.
How's your Bowser doing, Matt?
Yeah, he's in a weird state at the moment, so I can sort of see what other people have meant when they sort of say, yeah, you can look weird for a while.
Looks a bit like a crazy frog.
It's like a little crazy frog, and he's got like this. He does do the little side-to-side puppet thing. It's like it's almost like an old Bowser who doesn't like have his dentures in or something. It's like can't really eat anything. But no, it's I can really see when people have sort of been raving about it and things. It's a nice solid build. It's lots of interesting sort of little techniques and ways that they're doing things, and it's got a certain presence in your hand, and it feels good. Yeah. So I think Brick Clicker did a video a couple months back saying sort of the leaks for next year, which they're going to do. I think it was a Simba from Lion King in a similar sort of style. So if it's anything like this and it's got some nice features, I can see that would do quite well.
So you can operate it like a puppet.
Oh yeah!
I look forward to your ventriloquism.
It's interesting because at the moment his head can pop up, but it obviously doesn't have enough weight on it to bring it back down by itself. Sort of gets stuck halfway.
It's not badly priced either, that set, I've noticed.
When it's on sale, it's a really good price. I think it's, is it on sale at the moment? No, it's the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is at a good price.
That's one I do like. My son likes that one.
The Sanctum was a strange one too, wasn't it? Because it was released, and the building is really, really nice. And it was with release already, was it £50 off, £100 off? It was really cheap at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been low in price quite a lot of the time, so it's continuously discounted.
Yeah,
it almost feels like they overproduced it and they need just to get rid of it, because it's in quite a few channels as well that you can get it.
I mean, that must be the thing with Lego. How do they know, or how can they anticipate how many sets they're going to need to produce? If something's selling well or doesn't sell well.
I'm sure they do market studies somehow.
Yeah. Well, they do, yeah, all sorts of things, but they do one-on-one interviews, because I've been involved in some of those, and they'll ask you lots of specific questions. And I mean, the reason that we know about a lot of these leaks is because it came out of a marketing session and somebody just walked out with all the images. It's just like, well,
oh, yeah. I heard about that.
and because I think, wasn't it, I'm just trying to remember for what set, it was one of the really, it's a UCS one. They're sort of like, oh, is £650 going to be too much for this set? And it's sort of like, wow, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Because if Brick Clicker did a video the other day, the long delayed Technic crane, which has about 2,800 pieces, originally it was going to be $450, which was a lot. Now apparently it's going to be $680.
Wow.
So you're looking at a price to piece ratio of about 30 cents.
Yeah.
So it's, I just, unless they've really done something to the motors.
I think they got lots of motors in it. That's why I think.
But then you sort of look at like the original Libra bucket one or whatever, that had a lot of motors in it too. And okay, maybe it was the first one, maybe it's still 2019 pricing, but you know, that was only £400, and a lot of the time you could get that for around $250, $300.
Right.
But I mean, I just, yeah, I think, as we were sort of saying earlier, as a Technic fan, those motors and the app and everything is just, it's so painful. It's almost like now, if you've got a Technic set, apart from the fact that it increases the price so ridiculously, it's like, it's just an easy pass now, because, you know, the motors aren't good. They're underpowered. And they're expensive. And it's like,
right.
There's lots of other themes to spend money on, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. Oh.
We do have a bit of an echo, Matt, I think.
Okay. Let me just. That any better?
Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely better.
Okay. Trick, unplug something, plug it back in.
That major IT hack. Turn it on and off.
Yeah. I don't know. If you ever ring up about your internet or something, it's usually the first thing. It's like, I turned the modem on and off, unplugged it.
Yeah, I always say before I ring up, well, yes, I've tried all the usual, I've unplugged it, it's still not working.
unplugged it, restarted the computer, closed all the apps. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, I think we're pushing up to about 3 hours now, so might just sort of go around, see what people are up to, what you want to get some plugs in for. Actually, maybe first to sort of see how we're getting on with the respective builds and things. So might start with Lady McBricks. She's sort of smiling about it there.
This will be a moving truck sooner or later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there are really, really nice little side builds going along with it. So a music box and a little desk, which is really, really nice.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent.
That's a really nice gift with purchase. Yeah. High threshold, if I remember right, I think it were 180 euros, I think.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a cheap one. No.
Right.
I think, certainly all the thresholds seem to have gone up quite a bit. So, okay, great. Well, I remember for anyone who's watching, there's a poll there. I can't even quite remember what the question was. Might have to go back over to. I think it's something about storage boxes or. I'm still trying to figure out how to do half this stuff. Yep. So thoughts on the new cardboard boxes? Great idea. Save the drop bears. I love my pab cups, jugs too much. And next, let's move along. So if you haven't voted, just put in a vote and we'll close that off in a sec and sort of see where that gets to. I might just... Who should I pick next? I think Fred, because Trevor looks like he's at a critical point. Concentrating hard. So, where have we gotten up to with our?
So far, I've got this. I don't put any stickers on, by the way, because I tend to keep the sticker sheets because I take these stickers apart. And I'm building on the second part that's going to connect somewhere, but it looks like it's going to have some major functionality here because this opens up when I press that. So be intrigued to see what that's going to do. So it's quite good. Already got also it's kind of like creature and a flying motorbike. And so far we got 4 minifigures. Oh, this one's flying. That one, let's put the hand behind it, be better.
Let's see how it,
And then another one here. It's carrying fish. And there's just this one here. So yeah, now I'm back 6, nearly finished, 6 out of 11.
Are you? Because I mean, you've built a fair amount there. Do you sort of build things relatively quickly, or is it?
Yeah, I'm quite a fast builder, I guess.
Because it's like, okay, and I built this and this and this and this. How's it being building sort of that monkey kit? Is it sort of kind of different from other things, or is it sort of in the same vein?
Not so far. It's I think it's very similar to like a mixture of like Ninjago, a lot of it, and the way that the scenery is kind of starting to build up. No, it's quite straightforward. Nothing special so far.
Okay then. And is Trevor? Is he kind of just busy beavering away there? Almost too scared to go to him.
One little piece. That I can show you.
Okay. In the meantime, Snowlina, morning to you. Hope all is well down under. Happy Easter, if that's what sort of happening there. And asking, is that the new Monkey Kid set?
Yes, the team hideout. Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's yeah. I mean, particularly with the way that you got your light set up there as well, you can really play around with what you're sort of, seeing and not seeing, what's in shadow and light.
And all the depth of it as well. It's very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful set.
Yeah.
Like I say, it will stand on its own because you've got that piece that will give it stability there. Or you can hang it on a wall.
And,
Wow.
But it is.
are you gonna? Do you think you'll put the little Van Gogh on the stand, or?
Yeah, I think that's all I've got left to build is the stand.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to continue with this tonight because I really want to finish this now.
You're so close.
But
you almost got it done.
But it's really lovely. It's really nice.
Fantastic.
As you've probably seen on the Instagram stories, throughout the week I've been building the Jazz Quartet, which is this set here, which is really, really nice. I recommend this set. It was lovely. It really was lovely to build. And I've got a video coming out, hopefully. Sorry?
I literally took that one apart. My son built it. But yeah, it's a great set. I was surprised by the Jazz Quartet, how good it looked.
Yeah, I was. I didn't think it'd be this big, to be fair.
Yeah.
Are the
Really
figures
nice.
like mini land scale, or are they slightly bigger?
It's similar to mini land scale, I'd say.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah. Because was that like an ideas competition music one?
It was submitted by a fan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an ID set.
Yeah. The beauty of this, it does obviously come apart, so you can handle it.
Yeah. I think even some of the individuals come apart, don't they?
Yeah, and you can actually change like the bass play around. You don't have to have it set like this. You can actually do some changes to it yourself. But I've done a video of this, a speed build with a nice piece of, well, I think it is a nice piece of jazz music. And I'm hopefully going to upload that this Saturday to the channel. So please do look out for that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Keep an eye out for that. And Smolena was I Love Starry Night. And then let's try to see what other. Ian's saying, Lady McBrick, when you try to attach the glass panels, split them apart and do each section individually. Okay. Hopefully.
For the start date.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Well, whatever they say, just make sure you pay attention because we. I don't know if you were on that stream a couple of weeks ago when they were putting that together. No, it probably would have been. Yeah, it was late our time, but it would have been even later your time. So that was a funny stream.
I recommend that you watch that back, Nicole.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And then Ian's sort of saying, I think the Jazz Quartet was originally in the music competition with the guitar, and then they entered it into the normal Lego ideas afterwards. Okay. And we've done the whole sort of Bowser looking weird, so we can do that. Okay, so we might then just go around sort of what we're up to in the next little bit, what you can expect on the channels or anything like that. So we'll start off with Lady McBrick.
Yeah. Not much coming. It's Easter, so I won't join Fab Blondie this Sunday, but next Sunday we will get together again. Yeah.
Okay, great, excellent, and good to see that you are feeling better and back up and about. So that's great as well.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to join last week.
Oh no, don't worry about it. I mean, obviously, if you're not feeling well and need to recuperate, then of course. And go over to Trevor. I know you're sort of saying about the jazz club. If any other quick sort of.
I've got the Jazz Quartet video coming on Saturday, and then hopefully sometime over Easter, I'll crack open this one.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I'd like to do a bit of video on that one as well. So
Yeah, I think that could be a good one to do some stuff, and particularly the way that you do things. So, yeah. All right.
Brilliant. I hope everybody has a lovely Easter weekend.
Yep. And hope everyone has a good weekend as well. And Fred, what's sort of coming up on your channel? And if you want to mention a little bit about your Patreon or anything like that.
So in terms of coming up, I was going to upload a video of me visiting the Frankfurt store and the Barcelona one. I think that one definitely took more footage of that one because that's probably one of the most beautiful stores I've been to in Europe. And also, what else is there? Oh, I'm going to go to a brick festival for the first time on the 22nd of April in Maidstone. So that'll be an experience to see how that goes from selling Lego. I've never done that. So I'll definitely be documenting that and also the process of what I'm doing it. So yeah. In terms of the Patreon, it's going to be very busy the next few days doing all the data analysis that I do on a monthly basis, making sure that, analyzing all the Bricklink stuff so my followers can actually get all the data to help them sell more. Yes, Mark, I will see you there. I won't have any Mark loves dots, so I must disappoint you. I won't have any dot sets for sale.
Surely you can have just a few little in your hand, just a couple little dots, and give him.
I'll take some 250,000 coral. I've got plenty of those.
Great. And yeah, just for anyone who's joining late, do you want to just give a little bit of a plug to your Bricklink store?
So yeah, got Hillian's Bricks is my Bricklink store. But yeah, if you visit my YouTube channel as well, make sure you go check out the Discord. I think quite a lot of people are on there. So it's if you've got any questions or anything, or look for Lego deals, just join, I would say, because we've got built quite a community. I think it's now 1,100 people on there, and just chat Lego. And it's not just people from the UK. We've got people from all across the world on there just to talk all things Lego, whether it's investing, Bricklink, or just any new sets or people's thoughts. It's I think it's probably the best thing I've done from that's come out of the whole YouTube adventure that I've been on, is actually having built that Lego community, because not only have I shared a lot of information, I've learned a lot from other people as well. And I think that's the beauty of it. And as we discussed earlier in this live stream, the Lego community is what keeps me going as well. It's just generally a positive community.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
I get that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like everyone's links are down in the description below, but yeah, check out Fred's Discord server. It's great for all different sorts of things. The deals that get posted on there, and yeah, as you can sort of see, or we chatted earlier, Fred knows on Tuesday night to stay up late to get the latest Argos files which go. So I've certainly probably spent a little bit too much going through Fred's Discord, but yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody else out there. So definitely join up to that and check out his content and things as well, because he's very analytical, and for anybody who loves data, he's the man for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and also thanks for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, no.
It's been good to actually build Lego for once, because usually I'm taking Lego apart and putting it away in my Bricklink store. So I still have to remember what got me into the first place of doing a Bricklink store is actually because I love Lego. It's not because I wanted to make money out of Lego. It's just I love Lego generally. So to me, I think that's important. Do something you're passionate about, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, and it's been great having you on. Hopefully, can have you on again at some stage. And I'll just go through just before we wrap up here. Have a look at the poll. Thoughts on the new cardboard boxes? We had 28 votes overall, and 64% we had. It's a great idea, and save the drop bears. If anyone doesn't know, drop bears are an Australian sort of vicious koala. So you want to make sure that you're not cutting down too many trees and destroying the environment. And alternatively, 14% I'll have my pad cups and jugs, and only 21% saying next. So I think mostly that's been a good thing. And as for me, I should be doing the top 5 most expensive Lego sets 2018 edition. That usually comes out on a Saturday if I can get that. Next week, I might be in Billund at the home of Lego, so I'm not sure that there's going to be a stream next week, but we should be back for the week after that, as usual. And I think those are the main things. Oh, I've done a video just on the cardboard boxes and basically how, for anyone who hasn't seen it, this is the new cardboard box, which is at Blue Water and in the UK, and I think there's a store in Germany, and that has got almost 300 4x4s as opposed to the previous ones where you're only getting a bit over 200. So, and it's a lot easier to deal with. So full details in that video, and I think if I don't finish something else in between.
Bowser nearly got decapitated.
Yeah. What little head he has left. Just do a shout out to everyone who is here today: Brett Spills, KDS, Brickapix, One Brick Studs, Bossman, Stud Sidious, Simon, Reed Comics, Ian, Brickbod, Brick Studio, Snowlana, Brick Askew, Mark Dixon, and everybody else there. And to everybody on the replay gang who watches this far, thanks very much. You guys are fantastic. Share, like, subscribe, do all that sort of good stuff. And I think I was doing a little bit of work and we'll actually have an outro this week. So hope everyone is good. Have a good Easter. And thanks to everyone on the panel. And we shall see you probably in 2 weeks' time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.